6'6", 232 pounds. 2-1-1 last year with the Philadelphia Flyers, including one shutout. 18-9 with Lehigh Valley, opposing Cam Lanigan, who's making his ECHL debut. Also a pretty good guy, big guy at 6'3", 202. Royals start Nolan Zajac and Nick Luco at defense. Starting forward, Stephen Swavely, Adam Schmidt, and Tyler Brown. Dennis Kravchenko loses the face-off to Stephen Swavely. The Royals have it and move right to left. Paddled up the left wall and it bounces into the first row 10 seconds in. Royals returning from an 8-game road trip, 73 points for Reading, 85 for the Fort Wayne Komets. Finishing out the starting lineups for Fort Wayne, Dan Maggio just back from Tucson in the AHL along with Ryan Lowney. 5'8" defenseman, starting forwards Kravchenko, leading league scorer Sean Szydlowski, and Garrett Thompson, his partner in crime, playing together a lot this year. Won by the Komets, wearing the road white jerseys with the orange numbers and black letters. Royals in their home black jerseys with white numbers and purple letters. Brown flings it through center ice. It's intercepted by Kravchenko. Slides along in front of the Royals line and flipped rink wide. Lowney jumps into the play. He shoots one. Misses the glove hand of the big Stolars and rallies around to the right side circle of the Royals zone. So a little bit more than 35 seconds into the first period, the Royals remain scoreless with the Fort Wayne Komets, who clinch a playoff spot tonight if they get a point. Centered towards front of cage, Royals pong it out to the defensive line. Stripped by Swavely and backhands it to Lowney. Remained out there through the first minute of this game. Maggio working left to right for Fort Wayne. Taps it in front of the penalty box door for Tyanulin, who escorts it across the Royals zone line. The right circle and back near the right blue line for Jason Binkley, Barrett State graduate. The only matchup of the season series between these clubs, and Binkley's a pretty talented offensive-minded defenseman. Royals have their top line out. McCarthy slides it to Willows, across into the zone. Quick shot, saved by Cam Lanigan. Centered shot, toe save made by Lanigan. He butterflies and holds for a face-off, and a scoreless game, a minute 30 in.
Consecutive opportunities, one by Willows, the second one, and the better opportunity, Chris McCarthy, from about 30 feet straight up the gut between the hash marks. And David lost in the Anthony Stolarz start here tonight. You mentioned Sean Szydlowski leading the league in scoring with 68 points. Matt Willows wearing number 90 for the Royals. He's third in the league with 64 points of his own.
And Garrett Thompson, Szydlowski's line mate, two behind Willows at 62, also in the league's top 10. Won by Fort Wayne from their D zone and shuttered down the length of the ice towards Marc-Olivier Waugh. His teammates just call him Marco. Right side circle, Binkley shoots one. Blocked before Anthony Stolarz. Binkley again tries one. Saved by Stolarz. His first as a Royal, and Reading leaves it up the middle of the ice for Willows. A stringing pass off the side of his stick. Ends up lofting out towards the defensive line. Wilkins steps into the play. Bodied. Royals have it. Center one. Shot wide right of the sliding Lanigan at the right post from McCarthy. Reading to Wilkins. Royals applying good pressure 2 minutes into a scoreless first. Wilkins fakes the drop feed. Pushes it to the soft area. Royals have kept this line out the last minute. McCarthy edges it to the blue line. Cleland shoots it. Blocked back to him at the center blue. Leaves it just across the line. Delayed offside. And it's Fort Wayne puck. First home game for the Royals in 3 weeks. Fort Wayne starting 3 straight on the road. Team with 85 points is 4 back of first place Toledo. Good forecheck from the top offensive club in the league. And they hold inside the Royals line. Cote slithers one behind the cage. Angles off the back wall back to Cote at the right blue line. He shoots. Block back left point to Anthony Cortez. Royals being hemmed down by the Komets. Approaching 3 minutes gone in the first period. We have no score. Anthony Stolarz making his season debut. A tripping behind the net on Fort Wayne. Kravchenko touches the puck, and the Royals are going to the first power play of the game. That was Hora behind the net, who got tripped at around the legs. The Royals' power play over the 8-game road trip continued to click at about a 20% conversion rate, 19th in the league at 16% conversion, and Fort Wayne is 9th in the league, killing off 85% of the time.
2:54, David, the time of the opening penalty of the contest, and the Royals get the field position advantage, and the faceoff moves 200 feet the other way to the left of goaltender Lanigan. In goal for the Komets tonight.
He had last played in a professional game in 2012-13 Lanigan in the old CHL for the Arizona Sundogs. Royals win it to the left blue line. Zajac slithers it to McCarthy. Looks towards the left post. Angles it to Willows. Holds around the left circle again. Trades places, center to Willows, shoots, he scores! A power play goal for the Royals' top scorer. It's his 27th of the season. That's a career high. 16:50 to go in the first. 1-0 Reading. A centering pass from Wilkins to Willows.
And I love how Wilkins, David, was facing the middle of the ice from below the goal line. That gives him the opportunity, frankly, to use the net as a screen. He was not challenged and had easy pickings. Nice pass to Willows, who converted just 16 seconds into the man advantage.
The Royals have scored the first goal 41 times this season, which is the most of any ECHL team. Fort Wayne has it into the Royal zone, to the right circle. Hodgman shoots, blocked by Stolars, and it goes out of play to the back safety netting. 3:30 gone in the first, 1-0 Reading. They've still not credited a shot on goal yet for Fort Wayne. Perhaps a few of those thrown on net were not going to go into the net, which is why it's not a shot on goal. Fort Wayne takes the most shots of any team in the league. 1-0 Royals on Willows from Wilkins and McCarthy. The top line for the Royals all touch the puck on the man up. Hodgman wins it from the right circle to the right blue line. Fort Wayne pounds one wide right from Maggio, who's making his season day, his Fort Wayne return after being up in Tucson for a few months down the left wing side, and it goes back to the left end wall for an icing on the Royals right after winning the faceoff. Fort Wayne immediately puts their top unit back on with Sean Szydlowski. 1-0 Royals, about 4 minutes gone in the first period.
You know, and David, it's interesting when you look at the shot totals, as you mentioned, Fort Wayne first in the league at 37.5 shots on goal per game. That's probably what the Philadelphia Flyers hierarchy would like to see, a Royals win, but I think they'd wish that Anthony Stolars might see 35 to 40 shots.
They've added a few shots on goal during that last icing little break. 3 saves for Stolars early on. Royals backhand one down the length. It squirts into the crease, and Lanigan had trouble covering it. His teammates funnel it out. The Royals defensive line for Frank Hora. Plus 15, the rookie defenseman from Cheektowaga, New York. Royals send it just short of icing. Flyers and Phantoms very much interested in the young Stolars. In his 4th professional season and a former second-round pick of Philly. Szydlowski into the zone, pass to the left wing side. First line mate Dennis Kravchenko. Back to Szydlowski, shoots one off the shoulder of Stolars. Been rehabbing on the ice about the last month. Pushed behind the Royals cage to defenseman Matthias Cleland. He's played in 32 games and never been a healthy scratch with the Royals. Backhanded high in the air to Wilkins, who has a burst of speed across the zone line. Royals at the outside the right circle of the Komets zone. Coming deep on the forecheck, and a pluck out by Fort Wayne. Slid rink wide to Loic Marcotte, who enters the Royals stripe, and stripped by 3, running into the triangle, going right up the gut. The right wing corner, Fort Wayne has it in the O-zone. About 5 minutes gone, 1-0 Royals in the first period. On the strike, Willows, his 27th from Wilkins and McCarthy. Wilkins has 5 points his last 3 games. Centered by Fort Wayne, back to the right blue line, slap shot, glove save, hits off of Stolars, the edge of the mitten, and rallies around out of the zone. Royals clear it just in front of the Fort Wayne bench and have the puck into the zone, left wing circle. Shot save made by Lanigan, stretching. Sort of caught him against the grain. A shot from Matt Wilkins. So 14:38 to go in the first period, and the Royals force a pickoff. They're at the high slot, then come outside the right circle. Feed back to the middle of the slot for Willows. It's off his stick, rolls back to the right blue line. Fort Wayne possession. Marcotte comes right to the Royals logo and trickles it into the right corner. Touched by Stolars behind the net to Luco. Almost 6 minutes elapsed in the first period. The Royals 1 and the Komets nothing here at Santander. Tyanulin, the talented Russian rookie, stripped off his twig. Here come the Royals. Burst of speed from Schmidt. 2-on-1, right circle, centered. Hunnebrinker shoots. Chest save made by Lanigan. Holds for the face-off. 6 minutes into the first, it's 1-0 Reading.
And David, on that goal, the first assist is actually awarded to Schmidt. And I'm trying to recall, it looked like it was a right-handed shot that made the pass. If it is a right-handed shot and my memory is accurate, which is doubtful, it would be Schmidt because Matt Wilkins is a left-handed shooter. But we'll wait and confirm that. But it was announced as Willows from Schmidt and McCarthy, 27th of the year for Matt Willows, 65th point of the season. And we mentioned he came into tonight's action third in the ECHL in scoring.
Gives him up to 65 points. Put out a play by Fort Wayne off of a Royals guy. So we'll have a face-off when we return. It is Royals 1 and Fort Wayne nothing here on Rumba 1340. Hey fans, be sure to check out ECHL.tv, the live streaming destination for the 2017-18 season. Catch all the latest live action from across the premier AA Hockey League, including multi-game high-definition view and playback functionality on both your PC and mobile devices, as well as on Apple TV, Chromecast, and Amazon Fire TV. Visit ECHL.tv today to get in the game and never miss the action. In the heart of March, the stretch run, 8 of the final 11 for the Royals in Santander Arena, taking on Fort Wayne tonight. 1-0 Royals, 6 minutes gone in the first. Pat Richards and David Fine with you. The Royals have returned from essentially the last 3 weeks on the road, and Matt Willows has the opening goal. Puck is downed and won by the Royals to just right of the logo and pounded around the curve by Nick Luco. Surfs on the lip of the wall towards Victor Liljegren, who signed to an ATO earlier in the day. RPI captain this season. Cleared by Fort Wayne to Sean Szydlowski and the alternate captain. Fifth-year Komet taps it just across the Royals line. Royals have the puck. Put up the right wing side. Catches off of Schmidt for the assist on the first goal. Schmidt outside the right circle. Looks towards the point. Kicks the puck. We're going to waft it back to the blue line for Luco. It does, but he's outside the zone line, so regains with Nolan Zajac standing just to his left. So often the Royals have scored the first goal. Didn't near the end of the road trip. They allowed the first goal in 3 straight. 1-0 Reading, about 7 minutes gone in the first. Swavely to the high slot, spinning pass, shot by Brown off of Cam Lanigan's midsection for a save, and it's pushed to the right side corner. 7 minutes gone in the first, 1-0 Reading, and a speedy game against the normally fast and physical Komets. Here's Olivier Waugh into the Royals zone. Pass to the high slot. Stripped by Zajac. Throws it and joins the rush with Swavely. Back to Zajac. Return to Swavely. To the right circle. Shoots it. Top shelf save made by Cam Lanigan. Bennett pinches in from the point. Loic Marcotte is heavily checked by Tyler Brown. And the Komets toss it up the middle. Have some time and space. Getting end to end. Off the outside of Olivier Waugh's stick. So it's Royals possession. Big slap shot from Zajac, and he gave it away at the blue line to Hodgman. Stripped back by Zajac, who roves to the area outside the left circle. Engineers it to Bennett, lifts the stick of Larazza, and it's Fort Wayne possession. About 8 minutes gone in the first. 1-0 Reading on a power play marker. Royals power play is converted in 4 straight games. Trickles back to Maggio. Left side corner, Fort Wayne zone. Wearing that historic Fort Wayne Komets logo, the orange Komet on the front of the chest. Here comes Fort Wayne with Tyanulin. Strides the Royals line. Tips it behind Cage, and oh, he's dumped by Frank Hora. Tyanulin played major junior hockey just like Hora. Right to left, the Royals with their top line out. McCarthy cuts up the gut. Swaggers towards the outside, the left circle. Cut off by Lowney and Fort Wayne. Stretch feed, 100 feet through center ice to Tyanulin, who gains the Royals stripe again. Looks for reinforcements. He's checked by Hora once again and almost knocked into the dirt a second time. 8.5 minutes through the first period. Pat, there's been so much end-to-end. Not much time for these players to skate up the middle of the ice without body contact.
Well, and the changing on the fly is really important in a game like this with few stoppages.
1-0 Royals with about 11 to go in the first. A backhanded shot from the left post is covered by Stolars. On the shot from Szydlowski, look to get a backdoor pass. We have a face-off coming.
And David, I've been impressed in the early going, just about 9 minutes in. The Royals are attacking with speed through the neutral zone, driving those Komet defensemen well off their defensive blue line. They've already posted 8 shots on goal. Lanigan has clearly been the busier netminder of the two, but Anthony Stolars looks very confident in this, his first professional game this season.
Royals win the face-off from the left circle of the Komet zone. Pass for Tansky up the right wing was a no-go on a design breakout. Rolls to the end line for another icing.
And David, the other key against a team like Fort Wayne that is so dangerous offensively and where the Royals have also been very effective, crisp outlet passes. They're not dangling with the puck. They're finding the man, boom, 2 passes, and you're out of the zone. that opens up the neutral ice for the Royals to gain speed and hit that offensive blue line.
Brinker scrums for the puck and wins it from Kravchenko. Craftily up the right wing for the dancing Schmidt. Stolen by Fort Wayne after he tipped it just to the Komets line. Cortez, rink-wide pass towards Kravchenko. Komets in the midst of a line change. They dump it in, and they make a change behind the dump into the right side circle. Tansky gave it away at the slot. Flipped wide left of the net by Kravchenko. Pursued by the Royals. Edge it across the blue line, so it laid offside. Go lightly in his 102nd professional game. Garners the biscuit for the Royals. Gets to the red line and tosses it behind the Fort Wayne net. Lanigan, strong puck-playing netminder who spent upwards of 5 seasons in Major Junior, parts of 6 campaigns, started as the youngest guy you could and finished as the oldest you could. 4 different teams up in the WHL for Mr. Lanigan. Here it's placed off of Tyler Brown's leg and bounces into the Royals bench in front of first-year head coach Kirk McDonald. Head coach Gary Graham is in his 5th season for Fort Wayne. Halfway through the first, 1-0 Reading on Willows' power play marker.
And David, I look up at Giacolotti's owner's box and I see a lot of suits and ties up there. I imagine there's some Philadelphia Flyer brass that have a great deal of interest in this start for Anthony Stolarz.
We have heard as such a lot of Phantoms and Flyers folks watching Stolarz, and it's the side where the Komets shoot twice close to the owner's box. So they get the up-close and personal view for the goaltender recovering from that meniscus injury that he injured a week before training camp. Swavely's puck after the faceoff. Cross ice to Luco. Defenseman gains the line, and he's run into the boards by physical Curtis Leonard. Second-year Comet from Napanee, Ontario, is a former RPI grad, coached by Kirk McDonald for a season there. Whack to the blue line. Swavely steps in, he's outside the stripe, puts it up the middle to Nolan Zajac, who flies in seamlessly into the Komets' defensive zone. Back to the Leonard corner on the right side. Swavely with the stick lift, rips it away, whacking puck, high slot, Zajac, Deeks, shoots! Saved by Lanigan! It was close quarters like he was in a submarine, and a crowded one at that in the movie Crimson Tide. He's able to find the way to get it on cage. And then the save, middle of the body. Slap shot, save made by Lanigan again on a 60-foot pelting shot from Willows. We'll take a break and be right back with a 1-0 Royals advantage and 9:10 to go in the first period. Here on Rumba, 1340.
This opportunity to thank Quadrant Plastic Products for their ongoing efforts dedicated to the improvement of our community. Once again this season, Quadrant brings the greater Reading region the Quadrant Community Corner, which allows nonprofit organizations and their members an opportunity to cheer the Royals on to victory inside Santander Arena. A fun night out for everyone involved. The Royals thank Quadrant Plastic Products for their continuing active efforts to improve the community in which we live.
Back at Santander Arena, 5 saves for Anthony Stolarz in his season debut. The highly touted Philadelphia Flyers and Lehigh Valley Phantoms netminder returning from injury. 1-0 Reading, 9 minutes to go in the first. Royals have put the pressure on Cam Lanigan, though, to keep Stolarz a little bit drier.
And he's played very nicely, David, despite giving up that 1 goal, the power play tally to Matt Willows. He's made, I want to say, 4 or 5 outstanding saves on grade A Royals chances. It probably could be 2 or maybe even 3-0 if he was not as sharp as he has been.
Down puck is taken by the Komets from inside their own line. Strung around after the McCarthy loss to Matt Willows, his line mate, giving Reading possession across the stripe. Onside, left circle, McCarthy. Breaks it back towards the point. Stolen by Szydlowski, who gives it away. Royals high slot, McCarthy waggles, shoots! Chest save made by Cam Lanigan. It's already his 10th of the game. Under 9 minutes to go in the first. The Royals won and the Komets nothing. Fort Wayne strips it up the middle. Thompson shoots into Stolarz, sweeps it away. Right slot to Lowney. Left circle, Maggio shoots. Another chest save made by the huge 6'6" Stolarz. The Royals clear right to left. Wilkins with a salsa move through center. Tap to McCarthy. Under his stick to Wilkins, bats it in deep to the Fort Wayne zone.
David, the second shot, the glove save by Stolarz, that's the kind of save you normally don't see at this level. That's what distinguishes him as an AHL and possibly an NHL regular.
He's had 115 professional games of experience. This is his first in the ECHL, 107 up in Lehigh Valley. Royals into the Komets zone. Tansky wrap around, ticks wide right of the right post and taken up by Gabe Desjardins, talented scorer for the Komets. Under talented Royals speeding pressure with Tansky and Bennett. Royals regain at the red line. Back behind on a flip, the Lanigan net. Shots 11-7 Royals, under 8 minutes to go in the first. 1-0 Reading leads Fort Wayne, their first matchup since last January. A stick lift from Mark Bennett. Frees the puck to Michael Hunnebrinker. Shoves Vital Cote, who almost tried to kick him down. Hunnebrinker's outside the left circle. Couple stick whacks, 2-on-2 battle, collision. Royals filter it behind the cage to Tyler Brown. Still in the Fort Wayne zone. Desjardins walks away from Bennett, tosses it up the middle to Marc-Olivier Waugh. Underneath the stick of Marcotte, fanned at by Charlie Vassaturo. Sewell, New Jersey native, is playing in his first Royals home game. Royals are into the zone on the right circle. Swavely pounds it. Save made! The chest of Lanigan on Schmidt in the heartbeat area after Swavely got it off the end wall and centered it to Schmidt. 7 minutes to go in the first, still 1-0 Royals.
A beautiful pass from Steven Swavely, but a magnificent save by Lanigan. How he read that play and was able to react. That pass, tape to tape, and the subtle deflection by Schmidt, but Lanigan had the answer on the 12th Royals shot, and David, the Royals continue to attack and just have wide open opportunities to move through the neutral zone.
A shot right off the draw. It's chest saved again by Lanigan. Holds for the face-off. Royals really pounding Cam early on, so another draw to the right circle after the Luco wrist shot. Lanigan played at Mount Royal University this year, won 9 of his 18 games, 9-8 record, 908 save percentage, and a 2.6 goals against average, playing in his first ECHL game. Just like his goaltending opponent, Anthony Stolarz, returned from Lehigh Valley yesterday by the Flyers. Royals win it to Luco, same spot, right point. Slings it around the boards, rides this trimming of the wall to Swavely, and the Royals connect it back to Schmidt. Almost body checks the referee. Tonight's referee is Tyler Putafont. 2 linesmen, C.J. Holman and Mike Fasani.
And David, there's a situation the referee just has nowhere to go. He's trying to stay obviously out of the play. He doesn't want to touch the puck any more than the fans want to see that happen. But with the tall glass, he just doesn't have anywhere to move.
Szydlowski walks the Royals zone line, shoots one. Glove save, top shelf Stolarz. Szydlowski from the top of the right circle shot it right into Stoley's glove. He's known as Stoley the goalie on Twitter. The Royals social media has had the Stoley buzz the last few days at this point, with him arriving yesterday. Making his first ECHL appearance, and the talented 6'6 netminder makes save number 8. 6:19 to go, first period, 1-0 Reading. Fort Wayne wins the draw to Maggio after Szydlowski tapped it to him. Maggio spins around, center of the blue line, backhands it. Willows crashes into Lowney. It's still Fort Wayne possession around the left corner. Shoved back to the blue line, and Lowney isn't home, so pursued back by Tyanulin, talented Russian forward. One of the most highly touted guys, and he played for a team that in Russia is known as one of the best. First here's Hodgman, crosses the Royals stripe, feed to the left circle. Tyanulin slaps it, and blocked by the Royals. Wilkins escorts it up the wall for Willows, right to left, through neutral, and then across the Fort Wayne line on the right wing side. Battles against physical Vital Cote. Royals neatly take it away at the left circle with Nolan Zajac. Comes left post, takes the pass, nobody open at the right point. Holds up, checked, and then rechecks Maggio. By the way, Tyanulin, the team he played for over in Russia, Oxbar Kazan, which has produced a number of high-level NHL talented guys. Royals are offside with Cleveland trying to hold the left blue line with Tyanulin in his face. 5:20 to go in the first. 1-0, the Royals lead the Komets.
And David, we mentioned Sean Szydlowski, wearing number 27 for the Komets, leading the ECHL with 68 points. A remarkably consistent scorer for the Fort Wayne Komets. Back in 14-15 season, 74 points. The 15-16 season, 75 points. Last year, 66 points, 68 points so far this year with games to play. He's been a very powerful offensive threat for this team, and as I said, just remarkable scoring consistency in the ECHL.
More than 100 career goals and more than 300 professional points with Fort Wayne over the last 5 years. And that 75-point season he had a pair of seasons ago the best he has ever had. 38 goals is his professional high that he had in 14-15, and last year 66 points and 25 goals. Numerical mark he's already surpassed. Ready for face-off after the Royals offside. 5:20 to go in the opening frame. The Royals and the Fort Wayne Komets. Reading 1, Fort Wayne nothing. Royals win ties them for second place in the North Division. Pat Richards to my right. This is David Fine with you on Rumba 1340. Hunnebrinker versus Marco Waz, taken by the Royals. Hunnebrinker, he shoves it to the right corner, arrowing the puck into the Cote side. And then he checks Cote on the right shoulder. Hunnebrinker plays like his hair is on fire when he's in the offensive zone, hounding pucks according to the coaching staff. Lined up next to Liljegren, who forechecks on the Cote side again. Tips it behind the net. The RPI captain had 9 goals this season. Shutters one to the slot. Shot! Saved by the chest of Lanigan, and he covers with the glove. Royals crashed the net, and there was Hunnebrinker almost scoring at the right post. Under 5 minutes to go in the first. Royals 1, Komets nothing.
And Lanigan is probably fortunate that Hunnebrinker did not have enough time to settle that puck and pick a spot. He just had to bang the rebound right back at him and made a chest save deep in his blue-painted crease. You know, the Royals, David, this is one of those frustrating periods, outshooting the Komets 15-8. They do have the 1 goal on the power play, but this could easily be a 3-0 contest here with under 5 minutes left in the opening period.
And that's sort of what happened last game, a 6-3 win against Wheeling with some worse goaltending from Danny Tyrone, who made his debut. Meanwhile, the Komets clear it from their own zone of the right post. Shot is gloved again by Stolarz on the Binkley shot, and Stolarz lost his stick, was run into, and the whistle didn't blow. So 10 seconds after our last draw, we'll do it again in the final 4:38 of the first in a 1-0 Royals advantage. You mentioned Lanigan. With Danny Tyrone last game, he gave up 3 goals in the second period. The Royals led 2-1 after the first after giving up the first goal. It allowed Reading to settle into a groove after they scored a couple softies. They haven't had a softie yet against the goaltender Lanigan in his first ECHL game. Royals tie up the face-off. McCarthy battling against Garrett Thompson. Wilkins gave it away at the blue line to Russell Jordan of the Komets, and that's not a shoe brand or a basketball player. No, just Russell Jordan, number 52 of Fort Wayne. Hamline University graduate this season. Hodgman, cross ice to the center of the red line, is stolen by Luco. Checked from behind with an elbow on his shoulder blade. No penalty, and he dumped it in behind the Fort Wayne cage. Komets elbow the puck off the wall, just in front of the blue line. Russell Jordan takes a check from Steven Swavely. Royals are in across the zone line with Schmidt. Steals and shoots! Another logo save made by Lanigan in the midsection for a face-off after Schmidt just knocked down Binkley with under 4 minutes to go in the first and a 1-0 Royals advantage.
That shot was because of want to. Schmidt wanted that puck more than Binkley did. Binkley with a relatively soft defensive effort there, allowing Schmidt to get inside of him and then just lift his stick and pick his pocket. And again, Lanigan with a big save now, 16 Royal shots.
Face-off win for the Royals and Swavely. Quick little wrist shot, deflected off of a Fort Wayne guy in front, and here come the Komets. 20-foot pass through neutral ice, and then they cut the Royals stripe. And then Desjardins to Marcotte, throws it to the high slot, batted wide right of the cage. Desjardins hooks on the hands, quick snap shot, blocked off the leg of Adam Schmidt, who's one of the best shot-blocking forwards in the league, believes the Royals coaching staff. The block allows the Royals to proceed with a dump into the Fort Wayne right corner. Swavely shrugs off a check, pass to the left post for Zajac, and he was stick lifted. It's back to the Royals line. So pretty end-to-end game, and 3:19 to go. In the opening frame, the Royals 1 and Fort Wayne nothing. Liljegren with another tap into the right corner in his pro debut. Hunnebrinker shoots it. Stick save made from the right circle on the shot that originated from the Royals' number 17. Fort Wayne comes through neutral ice and tries another quick shot that's saved by Stolarz' pads to around the left post. Stolarz with his first 10 saves, and the Royals with 17 shots in the first. 1-0 Reading, 2:50 to go, opening frame. Liljegren, 6'3" Swedish rookie to Hunnebrinker, the rookie from the more traditional St. Louis. And Reading with Go Lightly from California is at the left circle. Hits the break, centers one for a shot that's saved on Liljegren's attempt low. Cam Lanigan makes his 17th of the first. Fort Wayne clears. Tipped in behind the Lanigan net again. The Royals' pursuit on offense has only led them to 1 goal despite 7 or 8 grade A opportunities. Hodgman meanders up the left wing side. Moseys across the Royals line. Feed to the high slot. Wrist shot is blocked by Cleland. Tapped up the middle. McCarthy on a one-on-one. Pursued. Cuts the line. Drop feed Willows right circle. Taps one to the back door. Royals had 2 bodies cutting, but no fruition. Stolen by Fort Wayne off the sidewall to Hodgman. And he cuts the Royals strike. Centers it. Tapped wide right. Fort Wayne, the best second and third period team in the league. They're even in the first period for the highest scoring club in the circuit. The Royals won and Fort Wayne nothing, approaching 100 seconds to go in the first. Team scores 31 more goals than its opponents in the second period, and they're plus 46 in the third. There's no team better than plus 30 in the third, except for them.
And for those that can't do that arithmetic, that's plus 77 in the second and third period combined. They just blow the doors off team, especially in the third period.
The Royals, one of the best first period teams in the league. And here's Swavely to the left circle, shoots one. Scooped by the glove hand of Lanigan on the 19th Royals shot, too short of a period high this campaign. 1-0 Reading on that left circle attempt with 1:20 to go in the first.
David, the other thing the Royals are doing remarkably well, lots of center lane drive. They have black sweaters in front of Lanigan every time they've gotten a good scoring chance. Most of the time, 2 players, Royals players, right on the doorstep. That's why it's been important for Lanigan to have done a good job controlling his rebounds, save for the 1 or 2 chances, especially the one by Hunterbrinker.
Another clean attacking zone face-off win for Reading from Swavely, who won it from Kravchenko. Royals winning a lot of this O-zone face-off work. Battled up the right wing side by Fort Wayne in front of the Reading bench, in front of the penalty box door for Swavely. Cross ice, in front of the Royals bench for Bennett. Pinballs to Schmidt. Royals have it to the left circle. Schmidt shoots. Toe save, right leg, made by Cam Lanigan on the 20th Royals shot of the first. Then it's tapped dangerously into the Fort Wayne bench, and some of the players weren't aware of it. And a Fort Wayne player was hit right on the jaw, trying to get the number of that sole that was struck. 49 seconds to go in the first. Puck out of play in a 1-0 Royals advantage. Boy, you think of the fans having to be aware, but when it redirects that quickly, it can scare the players.
You really this is a sport where you have to be alert while you're playing and while you're not. And coaches and training staff as well need to be very cautious.
Pat, did I ever tell you about the time that the baseball came in the press box? Flying very fast.
No glove?
No glove, just laptop. Here come the Royals, one-on-one with Hunterbrinker, right circle, Swaggers, backhander. Another save made by Lanigan. Backdoor shot, shoulder save made by Lanigan after the glove side save initially on Hunterbrinker. Centered to Huntsey. Royals have it with Liljegren. Taps it to Brown. 20 seconds to go, 1-0 Royals in the first. Liljegren pursues it behind the net. Checked into the boards. Been playing in North America for 5 seasons. Zajac to the blue line, left point, shoots it. Save made by Lanigan, upper body with 5. Komets clear with 4. Zajac walks it back the defensive line with 1, and time expires in the first. Royals attempt 22 shots in the first period and double the Komets, 22-11. It's the most shots the Royals have attempted in a period this season, and Willows from Schmidt and McCarthy, 3:10 into the first, sees the Royals with a 1-0 advantage.
David, what the Royals have to be cautious of right now, that was a stellar first period. Kirk McDonald and Pat Weller, I would think, have to be very well pleased with how the team came out after the long road trip. However, when you think about how much you dominated a team with 22 shots and you only have a 1-0 lead, you cannot let down. You have to keep attacking and applying pressure in the same way in the second period. The opportunities will come, and they'll get something past this young goaltender, Lanigan. The chances have been just too good, David.
1-0 Royals after the first period. Willows with his 27th of the season, and he has goals in 4 straight games again, and oh boy, that is about as good as it gets from Willows, who perpetually has been on the scoreboard over the last 2 months. We went back, points in 20 of the last 23 games for Willows.
David, that has to be one of the top scoring lines in the ECHL. And the Royals are fortunate when you look at a league where you have substantive roster changes. That line has been very, very stable. They've played together. They've not been injured. They've developed a lot of chemistry. Let's not forget Matt Wilkins, who has really chipped in, and that line is going on 8 cylinders now.
We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be back with Mike Wazinski with a first period intermission interview. But first, we talked with Anthony Stolarz for his first ever Royals intermission interview. Explains what it was like to recover from the meniscus injury that kept him out for over the last 4 months. So we're back with Stolarz after this short timeout. 1-0 Reading at first break here on Rumba 1340.
Jimmy G's Railroad House Sports Bar and Restaurant is the home of the Royals players and fans for great food, drink, and sports action. Located in the historic Railroad House in the heart of Sinking Spring at 152 Woodrow Street, Jimmy G's offers the widest variety of available sports entertainment on 26 strategically placed high-definition televisions and 2 huge projector TVs. Jimmy G's boasts a full menu of fantastic American cuisine that fans can wash down with beverage specials while cheering for their favorite teams. The Railroad House is famous for live entertainment, including Royals Radio Recon, which whips things up every Tuesday night from 6 to 7 p.m. Everyone's invited to come out and meet the players and maybe even win a prize or 2. Jimmy G's Railroad House Sports Bar and Restaurant, where everyone has the home ice advantage. Heidelberg Country Club, conveniently located off Route 183, is Berks County's premier golf, social, and banquet facility. The host of the Royals' 11th annual Swing Into the Season charity golf tournament, Heidelberg Country Club offers scenic views, an elegant clubhouse, and an outstanding golf course, creating the perfect setting for your special event. Available for golf outings, business meetings, weddings, and more, Heidelberg Country Club. Look us up for your next event at HeidelbergCC.com. Diamond Credit Union is once again teaming up with the Royals and 13 local organizations who are going to take a shot at raising money during select Saturday night games in the Diamond Credit Union Shoot for Community. The local groups could raise up to $1,000, so come out and cheer them on to success. Unity is the essence of everything we do at Diamond Credit Union. With over 60 years of serving the Pottstown area and Berks County communities, Diamond Credit Union proudly brings you the Royal Saturday Night Shoot for our community.
Here at intermission with Royals goaltender Anthony Stolarz. This is David Fine. It's the Reading Royals taking on the Fort Wayne Komets for the only time this season. Anthony, you're just joining the team. You're up in Lehigh Valley. Obviously spent some time in the NHL. What have the past few weeks been like for you on your road to Reading?
It's been exciting. Obviously coming back from injury, it's been 11 months since I played a game. So just be able to get back out there in Lehigh and then join the guys here in Reading and be able to practice and then get back on the ice. It's definitely exciting.
How many times have you been on the ice since coming back from the injury?
So I've been on the ice probably about a month now, just kind of working my way back in slowly. Just started skating in the beginning and then started kind of working my way into practices and doing goalie movements. So it's been a long road to recovery, but I'm feeling good and glad to be back.
You know, with any injury, the struggles, the resilience you need to overcome it, what has it been like for you over these last few months, that resilience needed, where you might be feeling down at times, might be feeling up at times, and you got to keep that level head and get ready to
get ready to get back on the ice?
Yeah, there's definitely some times where I was definitely down in the dumps, especially right after I got injured the second time, right, a week before training camp. There's kind of that little period where you should be out there and you want to be competing with the guys, competing in training camp and showing the team what you got. But I kind of got over that probably about a couple weeks in and kind of just got back to working out. And as soon as there was a chance that I might be able to play games this year, I kind of just everything changed and just trying to ramp everything up so I can get prepared for this moment.
Again, goaltender Anthony Stolarz with us at intermission, the Reading Royals and the Fort Wayne Komets. Komets, one of the best teams out in the Western Conference, and for you, you're joining one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. Royals are only a few points out of first place, coming in really just for the middle of this stretch run, sort of, and getting the opportunity. What's that like on a goaltender?
It's exciting. To be thrown in there. Every game's kind of going to be like a playoff game because points are so precious at this stage of the year. So, I just want to go out there and do my job and try to stop as many pucks as I can and keep the team in the game.
How much do you know about the city of Reading, about the Royals?
I actually know a lot of the guys on the team. Just growing up, hockey community is such a small world, and I kind of played against some of the guys, played with a couple of the guys growing up. So, I know Steven Swavely pretty well. So I know he's from Reading. So he's told me a little bit about it, and I'm excited to see the atmosphere here tonight, and excited to get in there.
We'll be right back and join Pat Richards on Rumba 1340 for our scoreboard and look around the ECHL and AHL, plus the NHL and the Flyers on Rumba 1340.
Michael Wazinski here with Adam Schmidt. After the first period, the Reading Royals lead the Fort Wayne Komets 1-0, and an early goal on the power play by Matt Willows is what's going to lead the Reading Royals to start the second period with a 1-0 advantage. I'm here with Adam Schmidt, the primary assist on that goal. And what did you see? Were you able to see Willows coming in? Is that something that you guys maybe working a lot, or was that just a smart hockey play?
It was just a quick play. Last couple of days in practice we did power play. Yesterday we did it actually. That play worked a few times, so kind of we're looking for that actually. Paid off well. Willie came in the middle and kind of was wide open and put a great shot in the net.
And you're really pressing their netminder hard. Are you looking for any opportunities to kind of keep going after the same spot? Have you found maybe a weak spot in Lanigan? Fortunately
not yet. It hasn't gone in, but still looking for it. Early on I passed one I probably should have shot, and from that point forward I'm trying to shoot the puck as much as I can on net and then go from there.
Well, you got 40 minutes left to do it. Hopefully you can, and hopefully the Royals come out with the victory here tonight. Thank you so much for joining me, Schmidt, and back to you, David.
Hey, thanks, Mike. 1-0 Royals lead here at first intermission over Fort Wayne, doubling Fort Wayne in shots, 22-11. Again, a season high in a period shots on goal for the Royals. And that only goal that Mike was just describing, assisted by Adam Schmidt. Here's how it sounded on Rumba 1340. Places center to Willow, shoots, he scores! A power play goal for the Royals' top scorer. It's his 27th of the season. That's a career high. Well, Matt Willows just piling on more numbers. His career high entering the season was 23, and let's blow the barn doors open on that one. 27 goals, and we still have almost a dozen games left in the season.
And David, if we were able to watch the replay of that first period, I firmly believe that line of McCarthy, Willows, and Wilkins had a scoring chance every shift. They were relentless on the puck in that first period, and that's how that line has played all season long. And the other thing, David, 22 shots, 10 of the Royals' 16 skaters recorded a shot on goal in the first period alone, led by Adam Schmidt, who had 4, and then you had Willows with 3, and let me see here, Michael Hunterbrinker had 3 as well. So they're getting a lot of opportunities for good scoring chances. David, all you can say is more of the same. They were crisp and efficient leaving their defensive zone. They built speed through the neutral zone, and they were driving those Comet defensemen well off the blue line with ample space to maneuver between the blue line and the top of the circles. And then again, what can't be overlooked, the willingness to get guys down the gut into the top of the crease, create traffic in front of Lanigan. He kept his team in the game. He makes 21 saves in the first period. This could have been a situation where Fort Wayne might have been out of this game in the first period, but they find themselves, I think, fortunate for them, down only by a goal.
The goal from Willows, assisted by Schmidt and Wilkins. And Pat, I'm curious because you've been here longer than I have. That goes without saying. But Matt Wilkins, last year, he's really taken his game to a new level. On the road trip, he led the Royals with 6 goals. He has a pro high in points and goals already this season. For Wilkins, 15 goals and 21 assists, good for 36 points. Was he this strong last year?
You know, David, I don't think he was this confident as an offensive player. You know, the little things that he does so well. He's a physical player, yet not the biggest skater on the team. His willingness to block shots, kill penalties, kind of be one of those Swiss Army knives, if you will. But I don't recall him having this kind of prowess and confidence in the offensive zone. Now, some of that may have to do with the chemistry that he's been able to develop with Chris McCarthy at center, Matt Willows on the other wing. And sometimes when you just feel good, you feel right with the guys you're playing, the offense just lets loose. I do think what the team is doing a much better job of, Dave, we go back and remember right after the first of the year when the team was struggling to score, passing up shots, overpassing the puck. This team is taking the opportunity to put the puck on the net, and in most cases, I think it's the right guy. Sometimes you need to make a pass to create a grade A scoring chance, but the Royals are not making the overpass or the second unnecessary pass. When the scoring chance is there, they're putting it on net. I think they're really humming along right now offensively.
And how about this? Did you happen to catch how quickly it was into the power play that they scored? If we're keeping track going back to last homestand?
16 seconds.
Yes!
It's remarkable, the turnaround in the power play, David. You know, we looked at how dismal that was back in January. And, you know, on home ice, this team is 4th in the league on the power play now. That makes the goal tonight 21 for 96 now. So about 21.5% efficiency on home ice. And if you look at the overall power play, the Royals have moved up. They're still in the bottom third, but they've moved to 19th and gotten above 16%. There was a time I didn't know that we were going to hit 16%. It's really become a weapon.
Well, they're at 14%, and then they went 4 for 4 on the power play against Cincinnati. And they were at 16%, and they really haven't been much below 16% since then. Again, the score here at first intermission. At Richards and David Fine with you. 1-0 Royals in front of the Fort Wayne Komets. And then Anthony Stolarz makes 11 saves in the first period, and I thought some tough ones.
He did. I thought he was tested early, and I think that was probably good for him to see some shots early in the period. I thought there was on the second or third shift of the game he had to make back-to-back saves, a pad save, and then a reactive glove save, kind of got the save off the cuff of the glove. I think that got him into the contest. He was very effective, obviously, stopping all 11 shots that he faced from the Fort Wayne Komets. And, David, I think it bears repeating, it's just kind of serendipitous that Fort Wayne is in town tonight and Anthony Stolarz returning from injury, playing his first game of the season. But the convergence of those two things, I think, benefits potentially the Flyers and Anthony Stolarz. This is a very powerful offensive team. We mentioned plus 77 goal differential in the second and third period. They have scored 253 goals on the season. And at even strength, they're averaging 3.42 goals per game. They have a plus 1.17 goal differential at even strength. Very powerful offensive team. Should provide a real test in this league for Anthony Stolarz tonight, and he's been perfect to this point.
And what an appearance that it happens to be, with a lot of people from the Lehigh Valley Phantoms organization and the Flyers organization paying attention to their highly touted netminder that played in 7 games last year. And Kirk McDonald, the Royals head coach, said, heck, I can't really predict exactly what would have happened, but you just think of the turn of fates that he may have been the starting goaltender for the Flyers this year. Let's take a look at the NHL Flyers and the AHL Lehigh Valley Phantoms with our minute affiliation update. And here we get set with Lehigh Valley Phantoms hockey on Friday. The Phantoms, 87 points, 9 more than any other team in the Atlantic Division, and have 4 games more played than Wilkes-Barre Scranton, so 87 points to 78 points. And on Friday, the Phantoms are on the road to take on the Hartford Wolfpack for a 7-15 puck drop up in Connecticut. And the Philadelphia Flyers lost 3-2 to the Vegas Golden Knights on Monday. Back in action on Thursday, tomorrow at the Wells Fargo Center against the Columbus Blue Jackets, separated by just 2 points. Those teams and the Flyers are 4 points back of first place Washington.
And David, it's been an interesting season for the Flyers. You could call them the streaky team of the NHL. Lose 10, win 7. They came off losing 6 out of 7. They're still in the third and final guaranteed playoff spot, holding down third place in the Metropolitan Division. They still have their eyes set on the Penguins in second and the Washington Caps with 85 points in first place. But tomorrow night's contest, a crucial contest, as both teams head down the stretch with Columbus. As you mentioned, the Blue Jackets trail the Flyers by only 2 points. Right now, if the season ended, Columbus and New Jersey Devils would get the 2 wild card playoff spots. But can anybody stop the Tampa Bay Lightning? They look like the team to beat in the cream of the crop in the NHL. They've won 48 of 70 games, has the Lightning, and appear poised to take the Atlantic Division championship and first place in the Eastern Conference overall.
Royals 1 and Komets nothing. Start of the second period here from the friendly confines of Santander Arena. Thank you for tuning in on a midweek game against Fort Wayne in the only matchup of the season series between the clubs. Royals won the last matchup 6-1 in this building a little bit more than a year ago. Royals doubled Fort Wayne in shots, 22-11 in the first period. The 22 shots on goal matches what the Royals had in an 8-0 victory over the Cincinnati Cyclones back when the Royals poured on the biggest win goal differential-wise in their team history. The only Royals goal from Matt Willows in the first period, assisted on the power play by Adam Schmidt and Chris McCarthy. And you heard from Schmidt during first intermission saying, man, the Royals just had a tough time defeating Cam Lanigan, who just stretched out like he was doing a yoga move on his front side, sprawled out, reached out his arms, and he gets ready for the second period.
And in this second period, the Royals will go left to right and attack the net to our right. 1-0 lead on the strength of a power play goal from Matt Willows, his 27th of the season.
Puck is down. Swavely taps it to Schmidt. Waggles around the left wing circle of the Komets zone quickly and centers one to Swavely and clicks off his stick into the back safety netting for a face-off. So the Royals, 10 seconds in to the second period, have a face-off that stays inside the Komets line. Cam Lanigan, 21 saves in the first period. Fort Wayne can get a couple here in the second. It would be more of the same. They score almost a goal and a half per game in the second period and have a league best plus 31 differential in the second, and also the league's best goal differential in the third. Royals are one of the best first period teams in the league. Here they take the face off to the Phantoms left side corner again. Bopping check from Tyler Brown, catches Kravchenko. Neat pass, cross ice, batted out of the air by Swavely. Kravchenko strips it from him and enters the Royals line on the left. Taps it back to the left blue line. Royals coax the interception with Tyler Brown. Flies up the middle of the ice to the left wing circle. Centers one. Blocked back inside the Komets stripe. Quick snapshot. Batted wide left of Cam Lanigan's net. Wide wraparound is backhanded into the chest of Lanigan on Nolan Zajak's opportunity. Zajac points in 4 straight games. Had a season-long point streak of 6 snapped earlier in the road trip. Royals waft the puck into the Komets line and give it away. It's a 2-on-1 for the leading scorer. Szydlowski off the end of his stick with Thompson, who lets up and makes a quick line change. In front, Komets all alone. Shoot it! They score! Top shelf from Curtis Leonard. The Royals did not get back in defensive positioning and cover Stolarz' net, and as a result, a slot pass is put top shelf by Leonard. So 1-1 score with 1:10 gone in the second period on the first shot of the middle frame by the Komets in the third of the season for Leonard.
And David, all 5 Royals players went below the goal line, and there were only 2 Komet players in that area. Left the middle of the ice wide open. They had enough time to unpack a picnic lunch and still make the pass and score. Nothing that Stolarz could do about that. Time of the goal, 1 minute 11 seconds, and it's a 1-1 game.
First goal for Leonard in more than a month. He has 3 points over his last pair of games. Before that, he hadn't had a point in a month. Royals take the face-off at neutral. Toss it around the left wing red line. Royals with Bennett reaches for it. Here come the Komets, the strong second period team, best in the league, possessing the puck. Hodgman contacted by Hunnebrinker. Royals fly into the zone in center one and score! It's the first of Victor Liljegren's career. Mark Bennett centered it to him. From outside the right circle and the bottom of the right dot to Liljegren, who taps it at the right post, defeating the netminder, Lanigan.
And after the tremendous period that Lanigan played in the first, that's a back-breaking goal, and it comes only 30 seconds, David, after Fort Wayne tied the game on a Royals defensive mistake. A relatively soft goal, first of his career for Liljegren, and the Royals regain the lead 2-1.
The RPI captain this year scores his 10th goal of the season, 9 with RPI, and 1 here against Fort Wayne. Stick lift on Olivier while resuming. Puck trickles back to the left corner. Game of first for the Royals with Stolarz making his debut. Left post centered again, goes wide right of the net. 2 minutes gone in period number 2. The Royals 2 and the Komets 1. Shot from the point by Vasaturo is into the pads of the netminder, Lanigan, who makes the save and holds for the face-off.
I trust one of his teammates picked up that puck, first professional goal, that goes on the mantle. And the Royals, I think, get a break with that goal, allowing them to regain the lead after that defensive lapse cost them a goal at the other end. And that's got to be a bit deflating, David, for the Komets, who had gotten back into the game despite being heavily outshot and outplayed in the first 20 minutes.
The goal was Leonard from Desjardins, and then the Royals goal. Bennett, who grabbed the puck, we saw a split second after the goal from Liljegren initially pointed to him. Bennett assisting on the Liljegren tally. Royals inside the Komets stripe, lose the face-off, batted off of a twig back to Curtis Leonard. So the first of Victor Liljegren's career puts the Royals in front once more on Fort Wayne. High lofting pass to Garrett Thompson, catches the Royals line. Komets tap one to the right post, backhander into Stolarz' chest, and he holds for the face-off. First save of the second for Anthony Stolarz. Strong rebounding performance after Leonard from Desjardins tied the game. Then the Royals struck 30 seconds later. 2.5 minutes gone in the second. Been an eventful middle period. It's 2-1 Royals.
It's been exciting so far. And David, there's an example that's saved by Stolarz of what you can do when you're 6'6", that a 5'11" goaltender couldn't do. Stolarz didn't have to come out of his blue paint to cut the angle. A subtle move, maybe 18 inches to the corner of that crease in the butterfly. Good spine posture or spine angle there, upright posture, and he made an easy save. And the Royals ice the puck with 17-16 left in the middle period. Faceoff will return to the left of Anthony Stolarz.
Face-off between Kravchenko and Szydlowski. Very different parts of the world. Szydlowski, a Reading native. Kravchenko from San Clemente, California. Kept inside the line, and a body check on Garrett Thompson from Szydlowski after Brown tosses it up the right wing side. Szydlowski catches the puck, backhander! Save made by the pads of Lanigan, and the Royals are getting grade A scoring opportunities at will. 3 minutes gone, second period. Liljegren's first professional goal in his first pro game sees the Royals up a 1-goal margin, 2-1. Royals tap it towards the front of Lanigan's net. Was going wide left, but he snugged it with the glove, and he held for the faceoff.
A great bounce-back goal, David. I think playing with the lead is important against a team as potent as the Fort Wayne Komets. And I was about to say the Royals cannot get themselves frustrated. As we mentioned, heavily outplaying the Komets in the first period, but only leading 1-0. Giving up a sloppy goal to tie the game, but they regained it immediately and are comfortable now playing with that lead and looking to extend it.
Here comes Artie Tyanulin after the Fort Wayne team won the face-off, and the orange on his chest crosses the Royals line to the right wing side. Tyanulin, talented player for the Komets, back to the blue line. Diminutive forward, gets a return pass. To Larazza, he backhands one off the left side of the cage. Royals whack it, chop it to Wilkins. Second sawing attempt to McCarthy. Fort Wayne holds it around the right side circle. Rallies around the lipping of the boards to Willows. Tapped under his stick in a race for the puck. Run back wide left of the cage for an icing on the Royals that went down the length. And so a face-off comes back to the left corner of the Royals zone. Pat Richards and David Fine with you on a friendly Wednesday evening in the city of positive change, Reading, Pennsylvania, and a 2-1 Royals advantage. Already a pair of goals in this frame, one for both teams. McCarthy versus Waugh for the draw. Waugh, former Quebec Rampart, against McCarthy. Linesman feigns dropping the puck, then does, and won by Fort Wayne to the blue line. Desjardins circles and swipes it behind the Royals cage to Olivier Waugh. Back to the blue line for Leonard. Cross ice right point. Wrist shot from Binkley is rejected by the Royals. And another stick jab, a shot, sharp angle, save made. Stolarz holds in the chest, and Luco shoves Desjardins out of the way. Still 2-1 Royals, 4 minutes gone in the second. Stolarz facing a couple toughies early on in the middle frame. He has the trimming of the orange on his white pads and a black Royals jersey with purple numbers. Flyers colored helmet, black, white, and Broad Street orange.
A nice contrast with the black sweater and the purple numbers on the back and on the sleeves, and of course the traditional Royals lion crest on the front of that sweater.
Face-off taken by the Komets, and Szydlowski tosses one. Blocked off of Hunnebrinker at the left circle. The puck remains there. It's Fort Wayne. Takes it away. Kravchenko working against Hunnebrinker. Fakes the pass, then deals to the point. Right wing, blue line, wrist shot blocked by the Royals. Edge it up the left wing side for Tansky. Runs to Hunnebrinker. Royals cross the Komets line. Fumbled by Hunnebrinker and squibs it behind the Fort Wayne cage to Tansky. Has Liljegren net front. Tansky a drop feed for Hunnebrinker. Royals cycle it to the right circle. You can just tell the North Division has tested the Royals and helped them gain a lot of confidence against some of the top teams in the league. 2-1 Royals, approaching 5 minutes gone in the second. And that may have been a too many men on the Royals. Reading was making a line change, and the official signals for a face-off at center ice believe a Royals player that was on the bench had struck off of him, so no penalty and a face-off coming. 2-1 Royals, 15-11 to go in the second. And here's exactly what Royals assistant coach Pat Weller said about the North Division and how it's helped the Royals.
It's an exciting time. Obviously, these are teams that we're going to have to beat if we want to consider ourselves right there with them. We think that we're playing decent hockey right now. And
Weller talking in particular about how the Royals, the decent hockey is because they're playing the North Division, not necessarily like Quad City, who announced they were folding yesterday, which the Komets are 8-0-1 against this year. So resuming play. The Royals have the puck behind their own cage, and Stolarz makes Larazza shift a little bit to his left. Toss to Schmidt. Backhander across the slot to Cleveland. Royals having some trouble breaking out. Edges under his stick to Brown. He's in across the Fort Wayne line on the left wing side. Pass to the left circle. Stolen by Dan Maggio. Uses the sideboards. Royals make a line change. Top line steps out. Willows shoots it wide right from the top of the left circle on the right-handed twig. The 14:20 left in the second. Royals boast a 2-1 advantage over the Komets. The best second period team in the league already has won in this period. Wilkins takes it towards Willows. Shuffles it backwards to Vassatero at the right blue line. Cut off by the Komets. Spike it in the air. Bounces to the Royals line. Go lightly. Neatly possessed it off the one bouncer for Reading. Lightly a pretty big baseball and football fan whose parents grew up in the rodeo. Wilkins with a toss net front to the right post. Royals kicking away at it inside the Fort Wayne line, and the puck scurries behind the Komets net. Wilkins with a poke and a take, flanked by McCarthy. Go lightly to McCarthy. Then Willows shoots it. Top shelf, battled wide right of the white masked Lanigan. He's faced 26 shots. 13 minutes to go in the second. Royals with a 2-1 advantage. Willows from the right doorstep. Holds with his body, not facing the net. Fort Wayne elbows the puck off the end wall, shuffles it in the air once more, and ground balls to Marcotte. That's it behind the Royals net. Good pace in the second. It's about 13 minutes left in it. Royals 2, Komets 1. Komets been playing hockey more than 65 years. Fort Wayne. Comes Fort Wayne regaining possession. Tapped up through the middle of the ice for the dangerous Kravchenko. Puts on a burst of speed. Run into by Luco, who's the Royals' fantasy skater, so he has the wings on the front of his chest instead of the Royals logo, and those jerseys will be available through the ECHL in My Gray on March the 2nd. A Reading player, Tansky, just ripped down a Comet, and Tansky says what gives, but it is a holding call, and the Comets are going to their first power play. Unit is 10th in the league, and we'll be back. Royals 2 and Comets 1. 7.5 minutes gone in the second period. Here on the home, Rumba 1340.
Szydlowski Golf Center is your full-service golf facility with an award-winning pro shop, a beautiful driving range, and a full staff of PGA pros. Szydlowski Golf Center has all you need to get your golf game in shape. Located on Route 222 in Kutztown, Szydlowski Golf Center is the perfect place for family fun, with mini golf for the kids, a snack shop for the munchies, and precise club fitting by the 2013 PGA Merchandiser of the Year, Rick Klein. Szydlowski Golf Center and SydlerGolf.com.
Royals are going to the penalty kill. Scott Tansky is sitting in the Oil Heat of America penalty box. Anthony Stolarz perhaps about to be tested. 2-1 Royals. Tansky for holding on Reading. 12:29 to go in period 2.
David, the Komets have the 10th rated power play in the league, just a shade over 18%, but the Royals penalty kill 6th in the league, 85.7%. On the road, the Fort Wayne power play only at 15.8%, 15 for 95 for the Komets on the road. 6
power play goals over the last 5 games for Fort Wayne, risen the percentage up a few ticks. Komets start off with a face-off victory on the power play, and the dangerous point man is Binkley. Chested checked by Swavely. Players collide around the right blue line. Binkley stashes it and then paws it to the Royals' left corner. Almost a hand pass that's nullified by the Cleveland touch. And the Luco jarring up the right wing and clearance to the blue line for Reading. Just edges outside and a dump trucking check on Binkley, who is somewhat blindsided by Swavely. Fort Wayne stretches it to Larazza across the Royals line. Fumbled by Binkley with the snow pants. Jason goes and regains. 4-year player at the Ferris State University for the Bulldogs. Helped the team make the Frozen Four back in 2012 under the goaltending direction of outstanding All-American Taylor Nelson. And it's Binkley. Slides it to Marc-Olivier Waugh. Back at the blue line for Binkley. Pass to the right circle, Hodgman. Another minute of the power play. Royals 2, Komets 1. Shot, top shelf is blocked and rejected back to Binkley. Plays the two-hopper and seams it back to Hodgman. He's a dangerous goal scorer with a beard and a mustache. Back to the blue line for Binkley, the clean-shaven guy with the black bucket. 5-foot pass to Tyanulin. Left circle, centers it. Tipped wide right. Brown's all alone for the Royals, and he has a clearance. Cross ice for Schmidt. Ramps up and rises into the right side corner wall of the Komets zone. 11 minutes to go in the second. 30 left on the kill. Royals 2, Fort Wayne 1. Ticked for Thompson. Backhands it inside the Royals line. Hora from the right corner for Reading. Tips it to the blue line. Lowney possesses after it's settled on the red part of the boards. Kravchenko from the right circle to Desjardins, his orange-chested teammate. For Thompson to Desjardins. Right circle Royals zone. Pinball towards Vassaturo. Stick left. The Royals give it away at the slot. Kravchenko backhands. He scores. Just as the power play was about to expire. 2-2 the score. Komets with a pair in the second period on a 5-hole goal from Denis Kravchenko. 10:27 to go in the second.
That's going to be officially at 9:33, 2 seconds after the penalty expired. So although not technically a power play goal, Fort Wayne still had the advantage on a misplay there by the Royals. And David, it looked like Stolarz might have just hesitated slightly. It looked like he was going to charge that play and try to poke check it. He kind of double clutched, then went down, and by then it was too late. Beat him 5-hole, and it's a 2-2 game.
So unfortunate. Vassaturo ran into his defensive partner. Royals win the face-off underneath the scoreboard and proceed left to right. Wait for the assist. Royals have iced it. Sean Szydlowski, the leading scorer, the primary assist. So Kravchenko from Szydlowski, and Kravchenko with his 17th of the season It's up above 40 points as well. Up to 40 points as well. Goals in 4 of his last 5 games. Szydlowski leads the league with 69 points. Face off to the Royals' left circle. 10:20 to go in the second. Fort Wayne wins the draw to the blue line. Powered into the chest of Stolarz on a rip from Leonard, who had the first Fort Wayne strike. Alternate captain ready for a face-off, same spot, left circle.
And David, just before that face-off, as the players were getting in position, Stolarz had his head down. I'm thinking that he wanted to have that one back, that he could have played that in a little bit more robust and perhaps stronger way. But he makes a nice save on the shot directly off the face-off. This draw comes to his right with 10:18 left in the middle period.
McCarthy takes it backwards to the Royals' end line for Willows up the right wing side. Another slot giveaway by the Royals. Players funnel back, and Liljegren with the stick lift. Shoving check delivered by Liljegren. Willows plastered into the boards by Russell Jordan. Fort Wayne feed to the slot. Tip to Stolarz, sticks it to Willows, right circle. Willows looks cross ice, waggles to Luco, runs into a pair, and takes it again once more to the Fort Wayne right side corner. There was ambling, and then there was walking, and then there's Nick Luco in a maze. Looks like one of those escape rooms that they're talking about. Fort Wayne from their left half wall with Cortez. Stripped from the side by Willows. Talented Royals goal scorer. Elbows the puck off the wall to Luco at the right point. Reading 2, Fort Wayne 2. 9:20 to go in the middle frame here at Santander Arena. Royals looking for their 20th home win. Sprung towards Zajac at the slot. Rejected by Fort Wayne. Swavely forces the turnover to the slot, shoots it. Missed the glove hand a few inches to the right. Backhanded to Willows, bottom of the right circle. Holds up and shoots. Wafted wide right, tipped by Olivier Waugh. Royals making a change, have the puck in the O-zone. Willows, deep slot, wrister. Saved by the blocker hand. Cleared by Fort Wayne. Check from Brown prevents Fort Wayne from stringing much speed. Jordan makes a line change in the period of the long change. 8:46 to go in the second. Komets 2 and Royals 2. Lanigan's out of his net, so it's no icing on the Royals, and it's Hodgman proceeding from the left half wall of the Fort Wayne zone. Reading with Schmidt. Bounces it to the point. Vassaturo taps it to Willows, to Schmidt on another turnover by Fort Wayne in their own zone. Royal speed's giving them a little bit of trouble. Komets end up finding it, clearing it down the right wing side. Puck bounces to the Royals' left wing corner. Vassaturo for Golightly. Believe it was Golightly, the defenseman that ran into Vassaturo. That led to the goal. Again, the goal was Kravchenko from Szydlowski, the tying goal that came a few minutes ago. 9:33 of the period. We're now under 8 minutes to go in the second, and the Royals are evened up at 2 with the Fort Wayne Komets. A team that's been playing hockey since the 1940s. Golightly, a stretch up the gut. It's pounded down to Szydlowski. Hunnebrinker, backheel feed to Bennett, who has some speed. Neat drop feed for Wilkins. Backhander to Hunnebrinker. Rips down Larazza from behind. Binkley shoves it behind the Fort Wayne cage, and the Royals make a line change. Huge body check delivered against Thompson, who strides in. One-on-one, right circle, shoots it. Stretching save made by the leg of Stolarz, and he holds for a face-off. One of his best of the game around the right post on the second leading scorer on Fort Wayne. 2-2 the score, 7:20 to go in the second. And we have a draw when we return on Rumba 1340.
SOS Business Machines Incorporated is your Canon authorized dealer in Berks County. With digital copiers and color network solutions, SOS Business Machines offers the very best in Canon office equipment and supplies. And at SOS Business Machines, our friendly customer service and expert care from our Canon authorized technicians doesn't end with the sale. Servicing Berks and surrounding counties since 1987, SOS Business Machines Incorporated.
David Fine and Pat Richards back on the air with you. 7:20 to go in the second period. The Royals 2 and Fort Wayne 2. We'd be remiss on a night where we're broadcasting hockey, Pat, if we didn't acknowledge the wonderful contributions of Bob Chase, who broadcasted for 66 years for the Fort Wayne Komets, a lifelong mentor of Doc Emmerich. Shane Albarani's done a wonderful job filling in the booth for Mr. Chase over the last few years when he stepped away. A man that really carved out a major legacy in Fort Wayne hockey.
To say that he's a legend is understating it greatly. I had the privilege of meeting him a couple of times before he passed away when Fort Wayne came to visit, and just a wonderful person. And you mentioned those many, many years broadcasting Fort Wayne Komet hockey. I believe I'm correct that all those 60-plus years are on the same radio station in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
KWOW in Fort Wayne. Still broadcast on that to this day. A major legacy. So the Royals looking to break the tie. Fort Wayne coaxes an interception across the stripe. Cross ice for Kravchenko, who has the last goal. Slid to Cortez, left circle, bombs it into the pads of Szydlowski. Funnels it aside to the left wing circle. Game still tied at 2, under 7 minutes to go in the second. Willows receives a feed from McCarthy and then tips it back to his best friend, Chris. Willows inside and out to McCarthy at the slot. He shoots and he fans, allowing a Fort Wayne steal and clearance right to left. Lowney waggles around the defensive Wilkins. Comes to the Royals, top of the left circle. Backhand batted to Swavely, and there's a foot race for it. Swavely high steps across the Fort Wayne line, wins the battle against Maggio, two guys that have played in the American League this year. Willows near the back door at the left wing circle. A high slot pass, stolen by Gabe Desjardins for Fort Wayne. And it's Maggio back at the Fort Wayne stripe. Shots 27-18 in the Reading Royals' favor. Here it's iced by Fort Wayne up the right wing. Score is 2-2 with 6:09 to go in the second period. Before we mentioned Bob Chase and Mike Emmerich, Doc Emmerich, the NBC sports broadcaster, used to listen to Bob Chase in Indiana growing up. And indirectly then, I grew up listening to Doc Emmerich underneath the pillows in New Jersey, so that's my connection to Bob Chase, even though I never had the privilege of meeting the man like you did.
And David, it's interesting. I think anybody, and we have a significant difference in our ages, but when you get into this type of business, you grew up listening to sports on the radio. That's where I fell in love with sports. Dan Kelly, Jack Buck doing Cardinal games. I think everybody has a story like that.
Here comes Reading with Swavely, the right wing side. Now kids are listening on apps and on Sirius XM,
but they're listening.
But they're listening and they're finding ways to listen. Schmidt backhands it to the left side circle of the Fort Wayne zone. Reading rails down Larazza on another delayed penalty on the Royals. Beg your pardon, that was Maggio who got hauled down. Actually, the referee lowers his arm.
It was a delayed offsides, David.
Fort Wayne shoots it wide left of the cage. I believe it may have been the referee that raised his arm, unless I'm mistaken. Schmidt plows into a guy, 2-on-1 for the Royals. Right wing circle, Liljegren shoots it. He missed the glove hand. And the stick dropped by the netminder, Lanigan, who didn't have to make the save. Desjardins flicks it into the Royals' left corner and makes a change behind the dump in. Fort Wayne's around the left circle of the Royals zone. Royals playing with fire a little bit here. Approaching 5 minutes to go in the second, and a 2-2 game against cross-conference Komets. Hodgman to the left circle, sling, slot, wrist shot, Cote. Canceled by the Royals. Here comes Tansky, has Liljegren up the left wing. Liljegren makes a change. Tansky snipes it to the top shelf and a shoulder save, shrugged out of the way. Bombing rebound by Wilkins, left circle, is chest saved by Lanigan, and he holds for the draw. 5 minutes to go in the second, 2-2 game.
And David, a couple of things in this as we approach the later stages of this middle period. Fort Wayne is defending in their own zone with more obstinance than they did in the first 20 minutes. That's creating a quicker opportunity for them to exit, and they are really attacking the net in the same fashion the Royals did in that first period. And the Royals are just not as crisp with those outlet passes in their own zone as they were in the first 20 minutes. That's why Fort Wayne has been able to tie this game twice in this period and has held the Royals to only 8 shots after the Royals put 22 on the board in the first 20 minutes.
Here with a media timeout. Royals and the Komets still looking to gain the go-ahead goal. Royals took a 1-0 edge. Komets tied at 1-1 in the second period. Willows scored at 3:10 of the first, and then Leonard at 1:11 of the second period, followed up by Liljegren for Reading with his first professional goal, assisted by Mark Pennant on a right post tap-in at 1:41, period number 2, 30 seconds after the Komets took a 2-1 lead, and then Kravchenko, 9:33 of the second, assisted by leading league scorer Sean Szydlowski. So face-off to the left circle of the Royals zone. Pat Richards and David Fine up in the booth. Score 2-2 between the Reading Royals and the Fort Wayne Komets. Puck is downed and won by Komets centerman Kravchenko. Up the middle, here come the Komets. Sling to the left side. Hodgman gains the Royals. Stripe, drop feed, left circle. Bombing, slap shot. Save, backdoor, right circle. Wrist shot, toe save, Stolarz. And the rebound to the right circle for Larazza again. Hodgman body check by Willows. Steers him down to the ice. Tyanulin, one hand wraps it away from Willows. The two shortest guys on the ice dueling on either side. Tyanulin, 5'8" on his best days. To the right circle. Backhands and squibs it, and tied up by Wilkins, kicks it to Willows, and he nubs it to center, and a body check. 4 minutes to go in the second in a 2-2 game. Hodgman gains the Royals line again. Deep slot turnover. Golightly to Willows up the gut. Golightly's offside. Willows had it stripped at the blue line, and Golightly was a foot off. We have a draw.
And David, only 2 minor penalties in the game, one on Fort Wayne in the first period, one on the Royals here in the second, but that's not for a lack of trying by both teams. A lot of reaching and clutching and grabbing. That's why the Royals are finding some difficulty defending. Where they were playing the body and bodying up in the first period, they're reaching, playing the puck instead of the man here in the second, and it's created ample opportunities for Fort Wayne.
Reading takes the face-off at neutral ice, quickly flies in. Around the deep slot, Luco had it poked away. Here comes a one-on-one. Thompson, left circle, snipes it into Stolarz' logo on the front of his chest for a save that's run back out by the Royals to neutral ice. So Swavely, after Szydlowski gave it away, and then Schmidt left to right to the high slot. Good pace in this game. 3:30 to go in the second. The Royals evened up at 2. With the Fort Wayne Komets on a tying goal from Dennis Kravchenko halfway through the second. Flash forward about 6.5 minutes, and it's Royals possession back at their right side corner. Quick exit for Liljegren. Uses the right side of the rink and the boards to Hunnebrinker. Holds at the right dot, centered Liljegren. Snap shot. Blocked off the leg of Olivier Waugh. Back to Hunnebrinker at the right circle. Walk to the bottom of the right dot and the Fort Wayne zone. Meets pressure with Desjardins. Tansky jumps in on the forecheck. Hora steps into the play at the right side circle. Frankie has assisted in his last 2 games for the first time in his career. From the right post, back to Hora, right blue line. He slaps it. Blocked off the back of the noggin, perhaps, of Waugh, who's okay. And a quick wrist shot, his shoulder shrugged out of the way by Lanigan. So a clearance for the Komets. The Royals once again applying some heat on Fort Wayne. It's been that way. It's been a game where you get a run or two for a few minutes, and then it's right back the other side. Speak of that, Desjardins into the Royals zone. Shoots one, 5-hole. Saved by the goaltender. Stolarz, and he holds for the face-off low. 2-2 game, 2:20 to go in the second.
David, Fort Wayne is doing differently here in the second period. That is, I think, allowing them greater opportunity to create chances. They're attacking from the wings, spreading the Royals defensemen wide. We've seen a number of times where the 2 Royals defensemen are both outside the face-off dots. That's creating ample space in the middle of the ice. I think the Royals need to tighten their defensive structure, get compacted within the face-off dots, and defend hard like they did in the first 20 minutes.
4th-year pro McCarthy wins the face-off to Hora, and the rookie ices it for a face-off. Sneak preview tomorrow. The Royals will be unveiling their first Royals feature story of the stretch run, featuring Frank Hora, a rookie that's playing beyond his years, even though Frankie just iced it. Face off back to the left circle of the Royals zone. 2:19 to go in the second in a 2-2 game. Hora talks a little bit about the impact his family made on him, impact Kitchener made on him, and what was his favorite professional moment so far. Backhand tick to Cleland of the Royals. Defenseman to Willows. Bounces it in front of the Fort Wayne penalty box door. Binkley shuffles it back from inside his line, gives it away. Willows shoots it. Oh, he scores! It's his second of the game. The Royals' leading scorer with a far post snipe on a shot from the right circle. They can't craft shots better than that in the laboratory. Royals 3, Komets 2. 2 minutes to go in the second.
And David, Lanigan's defenseman didn't do him any favors. That shot went between the legs of the defenseman, and I think was on top of Lanigan before he could respond, and it caught him deep in his net, exposing that long side. 17:54 at the time of the goal, and the Royals for the 3rd time regain a 1-goal lead.
Komets still looking for their first edge of the game. They'll have to wait a little bit longer after Willows shot it from the right circle after a Binkley giveaway. Matt Wilkins tapped it to Willows. Here comes Fort Wayne, edged it across the Royals line. Tips it back to the deep slot. Empty left point. Cortez regains a couple feet outside the Royals stripe. Reading possession from their zone. Luco up the middle of the ice. Through the right side of neutral. Brown has a breakaway. Left slot. He backhands. Saved by the glove hand of Lanigan. It unfurls to the left point for a slap shot from Zajac. That's wide right. I think Brown was a little hesitant. He didn't know whether to pass or shoot. But he tried to backhand at the right post. Swavely with a stiff arm and button hooks into the Komets zone. Puck elbows to Tansky at the right deep slot. Shoots it wide left of the pirouetting Brown. Underneath Zajac, who motors back to it at his own line. So a late period goal for the Royals. Here they attack again with about a minute to go in the second. The Royals and the Komets are entrenched in a cross-conference battle. It's Royals 3, Komets 2 on the go-ahead goal from Willows, assisted by Wilkins. Hodgman moves it across the Royals stripe again to Markov. Right deep slot. Lowney, lefty, shoots. Block back to the Royals. Rejected to Liljegren. Has it for Redding. He speeds around Lowney to the left circle. Holds up. Wrap around. Toe save again made by the netminder Lanigan, who snugs at the right post. Victor Liljegren showing the waggling and the speed for the 6'3" Swede. 37 to go in the second period. The Royals have the go-ahead goal twice this period and lead 3-2.
And David, we talked about Liljegren captained this season's edition of the RPI team and completed his eligibility. Had 9 goals, 4 assists this season in 34 games. For his career at RPI, 151 games, 31 goals, 27 assists, and he's been very impressive here tonight.
Face off from the right circle. McCarthy, Willows, Wilkins check on to finish the deal in the second. First, here come the Komets. Win the draw. Szydlowski, cross ice and across the Royals line to Kravchenko. At the right circle of the Royals zone. Shuttered behind the net. Go lightly marks Garrett Thompson. Fort Wayne looking for a late second period strike. A strip from Redding. Willows looks to Wilkins and passes to him up the left wing red line side. Taps it into the Fort Wayne zone and a high slot giveaway. Look out. Szydlowski receives a pass through neutral and guns in. He wrist shots it wide right with 6. Willows bats it on the back door with 7 to the left circle. Szydlowski on the strong side as time expires. 3-2 Royals after the second period. Shots on goal in the second. Royals pour on another 12. Fort Wayne with 11 more. Royals with 34 shots in the game. The Komets with 22. So Lanigan been tested to the tune of 31 shots. A little bit more far range in the second period from the Royals. Fort Wayne and the Royals each score twice in the second.
But the Royals are in the same position they were, David, at the first intermission. They're going to take a 1-goal lead to the third period. And I think that second period should have been a wake-up call for the Royals. Nearly a perfect period, in my opinion, in the first 20 minutes. I didn't think they were nearly as crisp in that second. Give some credit to the Fort Wayne Komets and their high-potent or high-powered offense. I thought they did a better job, as we mentioned, attacking wide, spreading the Royals out. They took advantage of a couple of defensive lapses, certainly the one to score their first goal. But I like the bounce back in the Royals. Fort Wayne tied the game just a minute 11 into the period. The Royals responded 30 seconds later to retake the lead. Fort Wayne ties it, and then the Royals, on a beautiful goal by Matt Willows late in the period, 17:54, regains the lead for the third time, and the Royals will look to protect it. David, this is one of those games, since it's against a Western Conference opponent, it really doesn't matter how the Royals secure the 2 points, regulation, overtime, or the shootout. The point that they might give to Fort Wayne is meaningless to the Royals. The focus has to be on protecting this 1-goal lead, of course.
So we'll be back with second intermission report, and we return to Anthony Stolars, who's sort of been under the radar a little bit in this game with the Royals out shooting Fort Wayne 34-22. And when we come back, Stolars talks about some of the guys he's gotten friendly with on the Royals. He knows Steven Swavely very well. So who he knows when we return after a 2-minute timeout. 3-2 Royals lead Fort Wayne at second break. Get to hear more from Stolars next on Rumba 1340.
This season, Deibler Dental is proud to be the official team dentist of the Reading Royals. At Deibler Dental, Dr. Valerie Deibler utilizes state-of-the-art technology to design a personalized, caring dental health program for each patient. Deibler Dental, who has been a longtime sponsor of the Royals' 3 stars of the game as well as the team's in-arena broadcast, works closely with patients to ease the anxiety that's sometimes associated with a trip to the dentist. Located at 1075 Berkshire Boulevard, Wyomissing, Deibler Dental accepts all types of insurance and is glad to help you and your family with all of your oral health needs. The official team dentist of the Reading Royals, Dr. Valerie S. Deibler. Szydlowski Golf Center is your full-service golf facility with an award-winning pro shop, a beautiful driving range, and a full staff of PGA pros. Szydlowski Golf Center has all you need to get your golf game in shape. Located on Route 222 in Kutztown, Szydlowski Golf Center is the perfect place for family fun, with mini golf for the kids, a snack shop for the munchies, and precise club fitting by the 2013 PGA Merchandiser of the Year, Rick Klein. Szydlowski Golf Center and SydlerGolf.com. SOS Business Machines Incorporated is your Canon authorized dealer in Berks County. With digital copiers and color network solutions, SOS Business Machines offers the very best in Canon office equipment and supplies. And at SOS Business Machines, our friendly customer service and expert care from our Canon authorized technicians doesn't end with the sale. Servicing Berks and surrounding counties since 1987, SOS Business Machines Incorporated.
Again, Anthony Stolarz joining us here at Intermission. Obviously, there's a lot of AHL contracted guys on this team from training camp. You know, who are some of those guys that you know that are on this team right now besides Steven?
I know McCarthy and Luco pretty well. Both of them have been up and down with Lehigh the past couple of years, and I've trained with Luco, I think, the last 4 or 5 years in the off season. I kind of know a couple of the Union guys, Mark Bennett and Vasicuro and Wilkins from one of my best friends is Shane Gossesbear. So, you know, whenever they get together, I kind of just tag along. So, you know, some of the guys really friendly group down here and excited to be part of it.
Again, Anthony Stolarz joining us here at Intermission. From your perspective, you know, 4th-year professional, 3 years in the AHL, got that 1 or 7-game stint in the NHL last year, going up and down a few times. Getting the opportunity to make your debut with the Flyers more than a year ago at this point, what did that show you about, you know, your ability to play in that league?
Yeah, it was definitely exciting for sure, and you know, it was a dream come true. You dream about that day since you were a little kid, and you know, it almost seemed, it still doesn't even seem like it was real. Just going out there and being able to play, you know, in the top league in the world, and you know, luckily for me, I live so close to Philly. I was able to get a lot of friends and family out to the game, and it's always nice winning your first game too. So, but you know, just going to the NHL it's something that, you know, I'm trying to work my way back towards, and you know, I know I have a long road ahead, but you know, for me, it was nice to be able to show that, you know, I can handle playing at that level, and you know, I can hang with those guys.
There's a couple guys in this league, even Mackenzie Skapski's the one that comes to mind right off the bat that has a shutout in the NHL. You're one of those guys as well. You had that 1-0 win over Detroit. What do you remember about that 1-0 victory and the shutout that you helped the Flyers get that night?
It was exciting. I know Schenner scored in overtime. I kind of blacked out because obviously, it was my second start. So, I just remember being in the Joe Louis Arena with so much history and so much tradition. And, I just going in, and I think it was a snowstorm, so we got in late the night before, and it was just one of those games where, you kind of knew that one bounce was going to, either way could determine the game. And lucky enough for us, it went our way.
From playing down in the AHL, Lehigh Valley is known as one of the best destinations to play in the league. You've been in that PPL center for a number of years at this point. What do you think about the Lehigh Valley experience?
It's tremendous. I mean, the building is top notch, and the facilities are great. And obviously, you look around and we get 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 fans every game. So the community definitely supports us, and it just makes going to the rink every day that much more fun.
Hey, Anthony, thanks again for hopping on with us at Intermission.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back and join Pat Richards on Rumba 1340 for our scoreboard and look around the ECHL and AHL, plus the NHL and the Flyers on Rumba 1340.
After the second period of play, after a full 40 minutes, the Reading Royals lead the Fort Wayne Komets 3-2, and I'm here with Matt Willows, and you had one heck of a game so far, and why don't you just walk everybody through that second goal that you had in the second period?
Yeah, it was a nice play by Wilkins. He got me the puck in the slot. I walked down, shot through the D, used him as a screen, and hit the post, went in. So it was fortunate it went in. You just got to put pucks in the net, and good things happen.
And how do you feel about Stolarz playing in his first game with the Reading Royals after taking about 11-month break?
Yeah, he's a good goalie. I mean, it's always hard to get back there. It doesn't matter what level you play at. You haven't played in that long. It's tough to get back into it, but he's playing a great game, and looks good, looks solid out there. So we look for him to, in the third, make some big saves for us and get the win.
All right, thank you so much, Matt. Good luck in the last period. Back to you, David.
Hey, thanks so much, Mike. Again, after two periods, 3-2, Royals lead the Fort Wayne Komets. Back up in the booth with the man, the myth, the legend, Pat Richards, whom I missed dearly down in Florida. I mean that honestly, Pat. Team had the opportunity to go down to Orlando, and really the only regret was you weren't walking around downtown Orlando with me, tearing up the town. All kidding aside, a very serious business trip for the Royals. Did have the opportunity to really experience Florida for the first time. Went to an MLS game. It was great. That was really about the most fun I've had down on a road trip in quite a long time.
What MLS team did you see?
It's the Orlando City SC, and
okay.
I learned that they might be the most rabid fan base that I've ever seen. It was the night before the Royals played an afternoon game, and on Sunday they ended up earning a point. And in any event, they tied it 1-1, Orlando did, against DC United in stoppage time. And the place just about fell off the face of the earth based on how loud it was. And they have this supporter section that drops a huge lion flag at the start of every game, and all this purple smoke goes everywhere. And that was the opposite side of where I was, thank goodness, because I needed to have a voice for the next day's game. Beautiful places down in the South Division. I was talking about it with a few of the guys down in the South. They visit Greenville, Charleston, South Carolina. They visit Norfolk, Virginia, Fort Myers, Estero, Florida, Jacksonville, and Orlando. I mean, I'm just saying, that's pretty awesome.
It made, yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Not that there's anything wrong with Reading, but I'm just saying.
It was 80 degrees, and that's the only thing that we have to say about that down in Orlando. So even though the team only picked up a pair of points, I thought, Pat, a very effective road trip for the Royals by the end of it. They dropped the first 3 games, but, I mean, getting points at 10 out of a possible 16 points, that's about as good as you can get. That's like a 5-3 road trip.
Well, the old adage always is, David, and we've talked about this a number of times, 2 out of 3. You get above 500 on the road, come home and take care of business on home ice. We mentioned the Royals, including tonight, finished the season with 8 of the final 11 regular season contests here at Santander Arena. And frankly, the Royals have it there in front of them. We talked about the fact that of those 8 home games, of the 11 remaining games, they're going to play 6 of the 11 against teams that are essentially non-playoff teams right now. Brampton, Worcester, Norfolk. 2 games against Norfolk, 3 games against the Worcester Railers, and 1 home ice contest left with Brampton. Frankly, David, if the Royals look to secure a spot, they're currently in 3rd place, or jump ahead of Adirondack into second place. They're going to have to win all those games against teams that are below you in the standings, and then look to perhaps they have 3 games left with Manchester, 2 of them here at Santander Arena. They probably need to win 2 out of those 3. But the Royals are going to have to pick up the pace, if you will. If they finish 6-4-1, they'll end up with 87 points, which is their current pace right now. So if they want to advance that and put pressure on second place Adirondack, first place Manchester, they've got to pick up the pace and probably look to secure 16 or possibly even 18 of the 22 remaining points that are available to them.
Well, in some of the games around the league, that's pretty much what the order of the day might be for the Royals. In a grand sense of things, with Manchester and Adirondack having just battled seemingly to the death in a 3-game series, Fort Wayne has Adirondack on Friday, so Fort Wayne's going to stay the night and then go up to Adirondack. If the Royals can get a point at least out of this one, it maybe puts Fort Wayne more pressure to beat Adirondack on Friday. Meanwhile, Utah, who's been one of the hottest teams in the league, is at Manchester for a few games this weekend. And really what it shapes up is Adirondack, other than their matchup against Brampton on Sunday of this week, the Royals, even though they play one more game this week on Saturday, teams up in the North Division, it's not really getting easier for a good number of these teams. I think at this point, no team really has a clear path to first place just based on their schedule.
Well, and David, nobody has an advantage in terms of games in hand. Adirondack has played 62. This is game 62 for Wheeling. Manchester's played 61, so that really doesn't come into play. But the thing that Manchester leads the division in regulation and overtime wins with 35. Adirondack 31. The Royals and the Wheeling Nailers with 30. Almost impossible to make up a five-game difference, Royals to Manchester in the final 11 games. So you're going to have to beat them head-to-head is essentially what I'm saying. And the teams right now in the division are trending toward Manchester finishing with 91 points, the Adirondack Thunder 87, the Royals 86, and that's why I say they're going to have to pick up their current pace if they're going to jump over Adirondack, assuming that they continue to play at the same pace. And then Wheeling trending toward 80, and right now Worcester and Brampton appear to be the 2 teams that will be left out of the playoff mix. Worcester trending to 74, Brampton only 67.
Let's take you through the second period scoring. First, Curtis Leonard tied it at 1 against the Royals, and then the Royals retook a 2-1 lead on Victor Liljegren's first professional goal. Royals fly into the zone in center 1 and score! It's the first of Victor Liljegren's career. Mark Bennett centered it to him. From outside the right circle and the bottom of the right dot to Liljegren, who taps it at the right post, defeating the netminder. So after the goal surrendered by Lanigan, Fort Wayne was down 2-1. They found pay dirt a few minutes later, about halfway through the frame, on a turnover by the Royals 2 seconds after a power play ended. Fassaturo, stick lift. The Royals give it away at the slot. Kravchenko backhands. He scores. Just as the power play was about to expire, 2-2 the score. Komets with a pair in the second period on a 5-hole goal from Dennis Kravchenko. 10:27 to go in the second. Didn't really think, Pat, there was too much that Stolars could have done on that one. Sort of left out to dry, even though maybe it's one personally you'd want to have back, but not a bad goal, a 5-hole goal on a giveaway net front.
The only thing I could even say is it just looked to me like he might have for a moment had a thought to kind of attack that and poke check it, and he pulled back, and I think that might have gotten him a bit off balance and maybe not in his normal butterfly position, exposed the 5-hole. Kravchenko scored at 9:33, and it was a tie game once again.
And then the Royals took a 3-2 lead on the second of the game from Matt Willows. Fassaturo, stick lift. The Royals give it away at the slot. Kravchenko backhands. Beg your pardon. Here is the goal from Matt Willows. Willows shoots it. Oh, he scores! It's his second of the game. The Royals leading scorer with a far post snipe on a shot from the right circle. They can't craft shots better than that in the laboratory. Royals 3, Komets 2. 2 minutes to go in the second.
And David, Lanigan's defenseman didn't do him any favors. That shot went between the legs of the defenseman.
And Willows with another multiple goal game on the season for Matt, his third. And he has 22 multi-point games this year. That's a multi-point game every third game. 3-2 Royals at the start of the third.
David, Matt Willows by far has been the Royals' most valuable offensive player. He's been consistent all season long, and he's found another gear this year. Looking back to last year, he's always had that offensive prowess, but he's taken it to a new level. Teams returning to the ice for the start of the third period. David, to be wary, you already mentioned it. Fort Wayne has outscored their opponents 105 to 59 in the third period. 105 to 59, a remarkable advantage. They also are tied for the league lead. They have won 6 games this season when trailing after 40 minutes. They're 6-9-2. The Royals have been very effective when they do have a lead after 2 periods, as they do tonight. A record of 23-1-2. And if this game ends as a 1-goal win for either Fort Wayne or the Royals, it would only be the 16th 1-goal game Fort Wayne has been involved in. By contrast, the Royals have already been involved in 28.
To show you how many wins by Fort Wayne have been lopsided, 8 of their 41 wins have been by 1 goal. Down puck at the start of the third, crafted by Kravchenko, back inside his own line. It's Fort Wayne puck, down 3-2 and moving left to right. Remember, a Fort Wayne point nets them a playoff spot. Lifted towards Maggio, and it slides under his stick. Swavely bounces away from Maggio. Moves it to the right wing side for Lowney. So Fort Wayne, the best third period team in the league. Into the zone, left circle. Wrist shot, score! Fort Wayne's Dennis Kravchenko follows a wrist shot from the left circle and tapped in his second of the game. Sean Szydlowski had the shot, and then Kravchenko, all alone, net front. Slid through Stolars, and 30 seconds into the third, it's Fort Wayne 3 and the Royals 3.
And the Royal defenseman was there, David, but didn't tie up the stick of the Komet Kravchenko, who was allowed to bang in that rebound. And again, a little bit of a surprising rebound given up by Anthony Stolars. It didn't look like that shot had a lot of velocity on it, but it stayed loose in the blue paint. And just 27 seconds into the third period, it's a 3-3 game.
Backhanded inside the Royals line will get the assist announcement. It was not originally Szydlowski that took the shot. It was Garrett Thompson, and then Kravchenko with 41 points this year. That's another goal. So the Royals give it away inside their own line again in this fresh game. Fort Wayne shoots one wide right of the glove hand of Stolars. He's playing in his first game in 11 months. Redding's out to neutral ice. Takes it into the Fort Wayne right side corner. Intense battle here, the Royals and the Komets. And Fort Wayne coming out from their own zone. Scoops it through center ice, back to Charlie Vasaturo. It's a good thing when you don't hear Vasaturo's name much. He's a defensively minded defenseman from Sewell, New Jersey, and a Union College former national champion with Shane Gostisbehere. Reading with 3 Union College guys on the squad. Sort of quiet to begin the third here at Santander, with the goal from Kravchenko, assisted by Thompson. And it's in the Reading right side corner. A minute and a half gone in the third. Royals 3 and Komets 3. Reading plucks it with Hundebrinker. Skates up the gut. There was no one defending the middle of the ice for Fort Wayne. Liljegren enters the Fort Wayne zone. Slid back Hundebrinker. Left post to Liljegren. Taps it into the glove hand. Scooped by the netminder. Face-off drawn. Haven't said much about Lanigan yet in the third period. Cam Lanigan in his first ECHL game. 3-3 game, 18 minutes about to go in the third.
Couple of scoring changes on the first Fort Wayne goal. Leonard at 1:11 of the second period add an assist to Sean Szydlowski. And on the first Kravchenko goal at 9:33 of the second, the assist was credited to Szydlowski. Take that away and give it to Desjardins.
So Desjardins with 2 points, and Szydlowski has 1 point now. Hundebrinker from the right circle wins the face-off for the Royals. Cycles it and can't hold the line. Shoots it behind the Fort Wayne defense to the left side corner of the Komets zone. Fort Wayne, one of the most historic franchises in all of minor pro hockey. It used to be in the IHL. A few days where hockey didn't exist for Fort Wayne until the team bought back in the 90s. Shot off the right side of the Stolarz net, back to the left blue line. Maggio spins for Fort Wayne. 2.5 minutes gone in the third period. Crafts it behind the Royals net. 3-3 Komets and Royals. Reading's last goal for Matt Willows, who has 2 this game. Kravchenko, after his 18th of the year, checks on the ice. Thompson bounds it off the back wall. Marc-Olivier Waugh with the pursuit for Fort Wayne. Reading back taps it away from Olivier Waugh. The right wing to Schmidt. Scurries it across the line to Steven Swavely. About 3 minutes gone in the third in a tie game. 3-3. Komets the highest scoring team in the league. Schmidt from the right back door. Centers one. Pursued and shot into the end wall by Fort Wayne, and they ruled that it was not a delay of game on the Komets, but it was close after it was swept out in front of the cage of Lanigan into the right back safety netting for a face-off. So they're still tied at 3, and we've elapsed 3 minutes into the third period, and the Royals giving up a goal to Fort Wayne in the third, and they do call a delay of game at the last minute against Maggio. He sits in the sin bin. Delay of game against Fort Wayne. The Royals to their second power play. The unit is 1 for 1.
That comes exactly at the 3-minute mark. Face off to the left of the goaltender, Fort Wayne goaltender. 34 shots on the board for the Royals, 24 for Fort Wayne. A big opportunity here, David.
Last minute called against Maggio, who cleared it from in front of the net into the back safety netting. McCarthy to Schmidt off the face-off. Left post, Fort Wayne zone. Willows to Schmidt. Back to the point. Deep slot, Zajac to Schmidt. Left circle, shoots it! Glove save made by Lanigan, and he falls on his backside and holds up the prize, the puck, in his glove. 17 seconds into the power play. 3-3 game.
You know, David, it's interesting. You look at a game where there's now been 6 goals scored, but Lanigan really has been the star of the game for the Komets. He kept his team in this contest when they could have been buried in the first period. Another big save there on the penalty kill for Fort Wayne.
Face-off drawn back to the Komets, and they clear it down the length. Binkley is paired with Curtis Leonard, and the forwards for Fort Wayne, Desjardins, the centerman that just won the draw, and also Waugh for the Komets, R-O-Y. Back tap to Wilkins, cross ice to the speeding Willows. In with speed, right wing side. Desjardins falls, paddled by Willows. Left slot, McCarthy backhands it to the soft area and sticked away by the netminder. Comes Fort Wayne with Waugh. Cross ice to Desjardins, cuts the Royals stripe, shoots one. Hit a part of Stolarz' upper body for a save. Fort Wayne lets up on the forecheck. Royals have allowed 7 shorthanded goals this year, which ranks near the bottom half of the league. Fort Wayne just lost one of their top shorthanded guys. There it's waggled by the Royals to the right side circle of the Komets zone. Hunter Brinker, chased down by Szydlowski. He rolls it around the boards. Fort Wayne second in the league with 12 shorthanded goals for. Best team in the league, 13 Florida, cleared by Szydlowski and company. 30 seconds to go on the Royals power play. 4.5 minutes gone. In the third period, Royals entrenched in a 3-3 battle. Final burst of energy from Steven Swavely. Guns it behind the Fort Wayne cage. 2 points in his first career game against the Komets. Still pointless today. Hunnebrinker one-on-one battle with Garrett Thompson. Swavely back to Hunnebrinker. Royals puck, left post. Zigzags behind the cage to Cleveland. Holds from the right point. Fledges it behind the net to Swavely. Backdoor, Hunnebrinker slings it into the leg of Waugh, and Lowney with the takeaway for Fort Wayne. Behind the net to Cortez, and he bangs it out of the zone. Maggio makes a line change as the power play expires, and they call an icing, and there's like 12 Fort Wayne skaters on the ice. 3-3 game, and they'll have to settle things. 14:54 to go in the third. Maggio checks off the ice, and unless they made a mistake on the icing, Maggio was on the ice when this happened. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6 Fort Wayne skaters on the ice. I thought that was clearly with the power play still going on when it was cleared.
And they're going to face it off at center ice. So, David, that's, I think, exactly what they've concluded, is that icing call was made in error, and that's a break for Fort Wayne. They are able to change their 5-man unit here with 14:54 remaining in regulation time in a 3-3 game.
Been a game of runs. Each team's had their pull at the other one, and the Royals have not yet been down in this game. Team scored the first goal, surrendered the lead thrice. Down the length into the Fort Wayne zone, back tap by Lanigan to Jason Binkley. Talented offensive-minded defenseman hit a little bit of a cold stretch. Tyler Brown, heavy pursuit against Leonard, lays the body on him, and it creates an unsettled forecheck for Fort Wayne on the left wing side. Nonetheless, it's Larazza. Pursuing Golightly. Golightly wraps it away from Larazza from the right corner of the Royals zone. Banked off the boards to Scott Tansky. The Royals with Tansky. Lifts his stick. It's away from it. Wilkins for the Royals. Pounced on a back check by the Komets. Reading has Bennett, Wilkins, and Willows out. Bennett quickly changes for Chris McCarthy. 6 minutes through the third. Cross ice in a tie game to McCarthy. In across the Komets stripe. Lasers a wrister. Into the netminder Lanigan, and then McCarthy dump truck as we have a whistle on our first break of the third. So face-off stays inside the Komets zone when we come back. 13:59 to go. The only matchup of the season series. Not quite testy, but high scoring. 3-3 on Rumba 1340.
Fans, you can give us a call to get tickets to all upcoming Reading Royals games at 610-898-PUCK. 610-898-7825.
Here on the air in Santander Arena with Pat Richards. This is David Fine, and a 3-3 score between the Reading Royals and the Fort Wayne Komets. It's NCAA tournament season in the college basketball ranks. I do not normally fill out brackets, Pat. Do you have anyone that you'll be gunning for in the NCAA tournament?
I think Villanova looks awful good, and I would have really been high on Virginia, but their outstanding sixth man, whose name escapes me, injured his wrist and is going to be unavailable for the tournament, and he was a real matchup problems in the ACC tournament. So I think Villanova looks very strong. I think Michigan State, as always, is going to go deep. The Blue Bloods will rise to the top after the first weekend, when you'll see a handful of upsets, as you always do.
Pat, in 20 minutes, Syracuse starts playing. I don't necessarily think they're a blue blood, but they're an orange blood. Cleared off the boards and out of play by the orange-jerseyed Fort Wayne Komets in a 3-3 game, 6 minutes gone in the third period. A play-in game. The Orange snuck in. We're playing Arizona State.
For the right to move on. They're playing Arizona State. They'll be an 11th seed. And the play-in games with the number 11 seeds means those were the last four teams that were given at-large bids to the tournament.
Spike towards net front by the Royals, and we resume play. Actually found out that my alma mater, Syracuse, was the last team, the last of the last to get in. Survive and advance in a different way. Here's the Komets walking inside the Royals zone. They tied the game earlier in the third. Maggio slings it in front. Backdoor missed by Marcotte. The Royals failed to defend the right post, but gain a break. 13:30 to go in a still tied 3-3 game. Quite nearly a Fort Wayne lead. Team is the best in the third period in recent memory in the ECHL. Played by a Komets high stick, so a face-off out to center ice. So close for a Fort Wayne lead.
Boy, that was a sure thing. In fact, so sure that Anthony Stolars, when he saw the man on the back door, he just kind of eased up, thinking it was a slam dunk goal. But the Fort Wayne Komet player missed the net by at least 3 feet. David, I think it would be fascinating to be sitting here with the Flyers or Phantoms goaltending coach to understand, having allowed 3 goals may be immaterial. What are they seeing in the play of Anthony Stolars, positively and negatively?
Lilzergren fires one into the pads of Lanigan, who makes the save. So the Royals have the puck behind the Komets net. Swavely ferociously looking for it. It was like an intense doctor session of 20/20 vision. Couldn't quite find it, so it's Komets puck left to right with Hodgman. Cross ice, bounces hard off the boards. Took a strange hop back to Cortez at the Komets line. 12:50 to go in the third. Royals have allowed the tying goal in this frame. Stolars lets it pass. First game in 11 months. His last one was April 12th of last year. He played just a minute against the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins, and he not played since. Pair of injuries that Stolars has had to deal with. His last one was a week before training camp. Bounced wide right of his cage, and it hops up along the wall to Jason Binkley. Komets to the left blue line with a powering shot that's blocked by Reading. Royals enduring a little bit of a tough stretch here. 8 minutes into the third and still time. Tipped wide left of the Stolars net. And a Royals win ties them at second place in the North with Adirondack. And they'll be just 2 points back of first place. Down the length by the Royals. Gain the red line, so no icing. 12 minutes left. Royals 3 and Komets 3. Artie Tyanulin with a few game winners this year. Into the Royals zone at the right side circle. The time where you haven't seen some of the best players on Fort Wayne all campaign. They have a lot of veteran guys on this squad. Tyanulin, one of the rare rookies, just 4 of them on the team. Tyanulin spins the pass to the left circle of the Royals zone for Larazza. Out there, back to the blue line for Maggio. Deep slot, shoots one. Hips wide right. Royals have Bassatero and Go Lightly looking to snuck. It's Hodgman finding the rebound. The Maggio behind the cage, and Fort Wayne is changing inside the Royals zone. Virtually nonstop puck control. Tyanulin looks for a pass net front. Shot from the left post. Blocked off the shoulder of Stolarz. Talk about conditioning. Fighting through it a little bit here in his first game back. Been working on conditioning the last 4 months, he says. 1 month on the ice. Backdoor backhander from Tyanulin. Couldn't force it on cage. Left post. Wash shoots. Block net front. Score! Fort Wayne 4 and Royals 3. And it's Artie Tyanulin, the talented Russian-born rookie, to give the Komets the advantage 9 minutes into the third. The best third period in the team. Third period team in the league strikes again.
Stolarz tried to freeze that puck. He was down in the butterfly, left-handed catching glove. He tried to cover the puck but didn't get there. Looked like one of the Fort Wayne Komet players got his stick under the glove, shook the puck loose, and Tyanulin was able to bang it into the open side, and it's a 4-3 lead for Fort Wayne. First time the Royals have trailed in the contest.
Celebrates with a little shimmy shake of his shoulders and checks off the ice. Fort Wayne wins the faceoff, comes inside the Royals stripe, and wraps one wide left of the net. So 4-3 Komets, 10:50 to go in the third period. Backhanded to Willows. Redding looking for a come-from-behind win now. Luco centers it, McCarthy shoots and hit the post! Back to Zajac, and perhaps sticked at the left post by Lanigan, who reached it out with all he had on the backdoor shot. Cleared by Fort Wayne, and the Royals are offside. 4-3 Komets lead, 10:30 to go. McCarthy at a net yawning.
We're going to see on the replay if we can. It hit the goalpost. It hit the goalpost. Similar to the chance by Fort Wayne at the other end, Chris McCarthy had the entire open side, and that darn blue-painted goalpost is all that stood in the way of the Royals equalizing this game at 4. And the Royals are just going to have to bear down. 10:28 remains in regulation time.
Goal at 8:56 from Tyanulin. It was 18 strikes this season. 3 of those have been game winners, and it'd be the game winner if it holds up here. After the down puck, Binkley shoves it around the Royals wall to the right side half wall. Redding down a goal for the first time this game. The middle of the ice to Liljegren, then to Schmidt relieving him. Raked by Redding, batted to Swavely. Outside the Fort Wayne bench, Swavely, dogged work. Paddles it down to himself, jumps around to Komet, nullified a hand pass. Swiveled through neutral ice for Thompson. The speed of Fort Wayne, something to marvel in this third period. You can tell they've been down a lot in third periods, and they've come from behind a good number of times. One of the most comeback-friendly teams in the league. Shot is pad saved by Stolarz on a 60-footer. 9:30 to go. Komets 4, Royals 3, and a home game that the Royals don't necessarily desperately need to have, but if they can tie for second in the North, would move their magic number to 13 with a win. Shot is shoulder saved away by Stolarz, another 35-footer from the Komets. We're skating circles around the Royals. Player got tied up, the one that shot at Desjardins. Tyanulin steps in. Lowney shoves it towards the front of the cage. Jab by Redding up the right wing. Missed his stick. Rolls down the length. And so it's an icing on the Royals. The score in this game, the Komets 4 and the Royals 3 with 9:07 left. A pair of third period goals, each in the first half of the period. First it was Kravchenko, and then it was Tyanulin. So Fort Wayne is plus 48 in the third period. Last year, Allen outscored opponents almost by 60 in the third period. Fort Wayne was plus 42 in the third period last year. And plus 34 Toledo. Yes, last year Allen outscored opponents 118 to 59. That's 59. They doubled opponents in the third, which is ridiculous. Komets are on pace to outdo what Allen did last year in terms of goals for, the third at least. So we resume play. The Royals get the puck after the faceoff from the right corner. Vital Kote nubs the puck back outside the line, and the Royals have a 2-on-1. Tansky to the right dot. Slows up. Centers it into the chest of Lanigan. Tansky forced the pass across. 8:40 to go. Komets 4, Royals 3, but a good rebound chance.
And the 2-on-1 didn't develop as quickly as it looked like it would through the neutral zone, David. I thought they were going to get a little bit better scoring chance. Those last two Fort Wayne goals, you mentioned Kravchenko at the 27-second mark. One assist goes to Garrett Thompson, the other one to Szydlowski, who has 2 points on the night and an even 70 on the season, continuing to lead the league. And the most recent goal, Tyanulin, at 8:56, the assist going to Marc-Olivier Roy and to Zach Larazza, and that goal those two goals gave Fort Wayne a 4-3 lead. Their 106th and 107th third period goals this season,
which gives them a plus 48 in the third period. The Reading Royals are brought to you by Tower Health, who wants to remind you that nationally recognized care is close to home, and visit towerhealthrising.com. We'll be back in 20 seconds with Royals hockey during the Empire Group Veteran of the Game here on Rumba 1340.
Imagine joining Visions Federal Credit Union. A Visions member is rewarded daily. We're built on the idea of costing you less. Reward yourself. Join Visions Federal Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
Komets 4, Royals 3, entering the stretch run of both this season and this game. 8:40 to go in the third period, and the Komets have boasted a one-goal lead because of a pair of goals in the third period, and this team has shown no let-up in the third. Royals are going to need a couple good opportunities to spring back.
And the Royals have to defend more sternly, I think, David. We look back at the first period. I think that was the key to those 22 shots and the 1-0 lead after 20 minutes was their ability to be very hard on the puck in the defensive zone. And obviously down 4-3, we may need Anthony Stolarz to make a big save or two.
Made a few in this game in his first ECHL game and also his first game of the campaign. Fort Wayne hoists it around the right wing red line to Szydlowski, who has a pair of assists. Slows up and feeds. Kravchenko, backdoor shot from the right post. His shoulder saved by the netminder Stolarz, and he holds for a face-off. There's one of those big saves. 4-3 Komets, 8:27 to go after the defense wilted a little bit on a rush chance.
And David, the other thing is I think Stolarz will want to hold on to pucks a little bit more frequently, slow the game down, lengthen it if you will. That will result obviously in defensive zone face-offs where the Royals will have to be sharp. But they want to stop that clock and try to create as many opportunities in the offensive zone as possible. Under 8.5 minutes left in regulation time, and the Royals trail by 1.
Kravchenko looking for the 5th Fort Wayne hat trick of the season. Here come the Komets. To the right, deep slot. Waggle with Larazza, and he slows up and gives it away. Willows moving right to left for Reading. 4-3 Komets. This is their season average in goals. Willows sneaks behind the defense to the end line after a dump in. To Zajac at the left blue. Royals have so often relied upon their top line in situations like this. Units produced a pair of goals in this game. Willows, Wilkins, and McCarthy shoved under, go lightly, and it rolls back to the Royals' left corner. Royals out shooting the Komets 39-29, down on the scoreboard 4-3, and team makes a quick unit line change. So Zajac joined by Brown and Swavely up the left wing side. Schmidt's the third forward, Zajac the defenseman. Mullen approaching 40 points on the season, stuck at 39. Royals 2 goals from Matt Willows in this game, and they reboot from their right side corner with Zajac. Swavely taps it, gives it away to Wong. The right blue line for Maggio. Hurdles it around the boards, rides the stanchion, and bounces to Desjardins around the left post. 7 minutes to go, and the Komets 4 and the Royals 3 around the left post. Marked net front to the left post again, back left blue line. Fort Wayne shoots with Maggio, a rising shot that caught the back glass. Wrap from the plexi to the right post. The Komets, when they set up in the offensive zone, have seemed to figure out the Royals, a veteran-laden group that has a lot of speed. This is in contrast to what the Royals have seen with Brampton this year, a veteran-laden group that the Royals coaches say isn't necessarily the fastest. The historic franchise with a win gets into the postseason. They make a line change to a dump in behind the Royals defense to the right corner. 85 points is 4 back of first place Toledo in the Central. Here come the Royals, looking to move to second in the North and tie Adirondack with a victory in this game. Into the Komets zone on the left side. Punched up the right side. Glove by Luco, drops his glove, and his glove is batted to him. Liljegren from the deep slot, a wrist shot rejected by the Komets, and Luco still just playing with his hand exposed, never got his glove. Szydlowski, right side circle, shoves it to the right post, and the Royals steal with Hunnebrinker. Dances around the defense. The Luco glove is still exposed in the Komets zone. Reading wraps it behind the Fort Wayne defense, and the glove is finally pushed out to center ice by some guy on Fort Wayne. That is Nick Luco's glove, and he's made a line change. The glove made it just to the top of the Royals' crown, and Szydlowski skates over it. Reading puck, 5:40 to go, crunch time, 4-3 Komets in front. Wilkins leaves it behind. Royals have trouble maintaining the zone. Linesman finally picks up that glove, and he puts it on his right hand for now and signals no offside. Cleland from the left blue line. Shoves it against Tyanulin. Batted out of the air by Artie, who has what stands to be game-winning goal in this game on his 18th of the season. 4-3 Fort Wayne on a couple goals in the third period from the Komets, the best third period team in the ECHL. Bounce to Tyanulin. Swaggers from Hora. Stick jab by Hora. Rings it around the boards, and he makes a quick line change. Under 5 minutes to go. This is the pace Fort Wayne likes in a 4-3 lead for the Komets. Get pucks in deep, cycle it a little bit. Have trouble at neutral. Giveaway. Left circle, Brown. Drop feed. Wrist shot. Score! Adam Schmidt with his biggest goal of the season. We're tied at 4. 4:47 left. A drop feed from Tyler Brown back to Adam Schmidt at the left deep slot, and he shoots it to the long post and in.
David, he was moving to his left as a right-handed shot and went against the grain, over the catching glove, high over that left shoulder. Time of the goal, 15 minutes and 13 seconds. What a beautiful drop pass from Brown. There was an appropriate time to pass it away from the net. Schmidt was in a much better scoring position.
Reading wins the face-off, looking to complete a comeback victory. Team had 3 leads, then gave up a pair in the third. Kravchenko left to right, neatly up the left wing with a pass to the red line. Thompson scoops it. Royals. Luco just took a high sticking penalty, and he touches the puck. Batted a Fort Wayne player almost in the jaw with his stick by accident. So the Komets power play gets to go to work when we return. 4-4 score on Schmidt from Brown and Swavely after a neutralized turnover by the Komets. And Luco takes a seat in the sin bin. We're back next for the stretch run of this game here on Rumba 1340.
The Empire Group is the proud sponsor of the Royals Military Veteran of the Game. Established in 1955, the Empire Group is ready to serve all of your home improvement, environmental services, waste disposal, demolition, and excavation needs. The Empire Group encourages everyone to stand, cheer, and thank the Military Veteran of the Game.
Fort Wayne's second power play of the game comes with 4:27 left, and we're tied at 4. The Royals scored the tying goal 20 seconds ago. 4:47 left. Adam Schmidt is 14th of the season, assisted by Tyler Brown and Steven Swavely. Nick Luco, guilty of a 2-minute high sticking call, and Fort Wayne, the highest scoring team in the league, looking for their 5th and go-ahead tally.
Inadvertent it may have been, but it was a penalty nonetheless. And in this back and forth game, a big penalty kill for the Royals, David, who do not want to have many empty trips to the refrigerator here late in the season. They need to preserve at least a point in this hockey game.
Down puck. Fort Wayne shoots it wide left of Anthony Stolarz, and it was a 4-minute double minor called against Luco, who drew blood on the high sticking against one of the Fort Wayne players breaking in. So the Komets are going to have a power play pretty much for the rest of regulation, save for about 30 seconds. Reading clears, and at this point the message is just get a point. So here come the Komets left to right. It was originally put 2 minutes on the board, but they changed it to 4 just a couple seconds before Fort Wayne restarted with the face-off win. Lowney looking for Thompson and feeds it to him. Left side of neutral ice. Garrett with 62 points this year, one of the most dangerous Comet guys. Reading has Hunnebrinker and Schmidt out there. Back to the deep slot for Thompson. 4-forward look on the Fort Wayne power play. Szydlowski, the league's leading scorer with 70 this year, to the right post. Kravchenko seeking the hat trick. Back to the deep slot. Slap shot! Fanned on by Szydlowski. Royal Schmidt runs to the left corner. Chops down on Sid, who falls, and he's hounded, and he sends it net front, and the Royals steer him clear. Hoisted away from Hunnebrinker's stick at neutral ice. 3 minutes to go. 2:40 left on the Royals penalty kill. 4-4 score, and get ready for an intense last few minutes here at Santander. Tyanulin strings it across the Royals line to Hodgman. Fort Wayne gives it away, and Swavely gets it back in deep to the Fort Wayne zone. 2:50 left. 2:20 left to kill. Fort Wayne with 4 and the Royals with 4 in a back-and-forth game. Komets held their first lead of the game until Schmidt scored with 4:47 left. To the speeding Hodgman up the right wing side. A stick jab by the Royals. Schmidt with a steal. One-on-one. Short-handed. Left circle. Ripped down. Penalty. Cross-checking on Jason Binkley. And Lanigan was trampled into by Schmidt because he was railed down. We have 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. There's 2:30 to go, and a 4-4 game. Then it will be 4 seconds of a Fort Wayne power play. At that point, there'll be 20 seconds left.
Boy, it's too bad Schmidt couldn't get all the way in front and have a clear lane to the net. He might have forced Putafant, the referee, to think about a penalty shot being awarded, but that clearly did not meet the criteria. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. 2:04 left in the double minor to Nick Luco, and this face-off to the right of Lanigan. The Royals looking for the game winner.
McCarthy versus Kravchenko. Left circle, Komets zone. Down puck. Willows runs to the left corner. Taken away by Fort Wayne's Lowney. Shoved to the blue line. Willows holds the zone. Dances around Lowney and feeds McCarthy. Backhanded to the back door for Zajac, who's out of position. Szydlowski, the leading scorer in the league, into the Royals zone. Between his legs deep. Holds up right circle. Batted deep slot. Fort Wayne with the setup. 4 skaters aside. 2 minutes to go. Puck tramples behind the net to McCarthy, who has it for Reading. Chris slows down a little bit, picks up some speed, cross ice. No reason to do that, and a giveaway to the Komets. 1:50 to go. 4-on-4 for 1:23 seconds. Here comes Fort Wayne with Thompson. Looks behind the Royals net. A backdoor pass. He connects with Cortez. Feeds it to the weak side. A strip from the Royals. Chipped out to neutral. McCarthy been out there about a minute. Needs to make a change, and he does. Royals caught with just 1 defenseman back. It's Thompson into the Royals zone. Slap shot. Chest save made by Stolarz. And Zajac has it roll off the outside of his stick. The Komets in their dangerous offense get another fresh forward line out. It's Reading possession with their 2 new guys. Swavely cuts into the Royals attacking zone. Stick checked it away from the play by Leonard. 1:10 to go. Royals set up. They've come back to tie late portions of the third. Hora from the right deep slot. Then gets the right blue line and backhands it to Hunnebrinker. Shields the puck. 1 minute to go. Tie game. Hunnebrinker. A drop feed for Swavely. Dekes around the legs and is checked down. We have 20 seconds of 4-on-4, and the fans react vociferously with some anger. It's Marco-Olivier Waugh with possession for Fort Wayne. Strings it outside the line. Willows gives it away to Waugh once more. 39 seconds to go. Willows hounds the puck and gets it. 4-on-4 ends. Royals are actually at a disadvantage here for just 4 seconds. So Binkley out of the box. Luco exits now. 26 to go. Even strength hockey. Both power plays failed to score. Szydlowski inside his own line, gives it away. Royals with Willows and McCarthy. McCarthy drags it back to the deep slot. Batted with Wilkins in the area, the Binkley corner. And he knocks down Wilkins. 4-4 game. 6 seconds to go. Backhanded, and the Royals possess in their own zone. Overtime again. The Royals tie it in the last 5 minutes on a neutralized turnover by the Fort Wayne Komets, and Fort Wayne's been to overtime the fewest times of any team in the league, but we have 5 minutes of 4-on-4 hockey. 5 minutes of 3-on-3 hockey in a 4-4 game.
And the back end of that double minor that was assessed to Nick Luco for high sticking. Fort Wayne actually did have 2 separate power plays. The second one lasted but 4 seconds. The Royals did not have a man advantage as a result of that cross-checking minor assessed at 17:30. And that period finished 4-on-4. And Fort Wayne with those back-to-back goals at 27 seconds and 8:56. But then Adam Schmidt with a beautiful goal to tie the game at 4. The Royals do garner a point and will be looking to capture the extra one here. This is a situation, David, that is perfectly fine. It makes no difference to the Royals if the fact that Fort Wayne has gained a point. Obviously, the Royals want that extra point, and we'll see how aggressively they decide to play in this 3-on-3 overtime. Oftentimes, you can tell that whether a coach puts out 1 forward and 2 defensemen or 2 forwards and 1 defenseman. I've seen a couple of times in the NHL where a team has had 3 forwards on the ice when they really need a point. The teams do switch ends in the overtime, so this is similar to the second period or the long change for each team. The Royals are going to start with Swavely and Schmidt up front, Nick Luco on the blue line. Through 60 minutes of regulation in a 4-4 game, 41 shots for the Royals, 31 credited to the Fort Wayne Komets.
So in the third period, 9 for Fort Wayne, 7 for the Royals. Let's get started. Swavely, center ice. Royals 6 overtime wins, 7 OT losses. Fort Wayne's 2-2 in the extra session. Start out with a face-off win. Come to the right dot. Centered in front of the cage. Scooped up and dove upon by the netminder Szydlowski. No shot, just a face-off. Fort Wayne almost designed it up the middle. And remember, the point for Fort Wayne, 86 points. The most that the 5th place team in the Central can get is 86. So essentially Fort Wayne clinching a playoff berth barring anything ridiculous. Hodgman set for the face-off. A win definitely guarantees Fort Wayne a playoff spot. Swavely set for the draw against Hodgman again, and Hodgman jumps. Oh, he probably should have been called out. Down from the right circle of the Royal zone and taken by Redding. Zajac pounds on the brakes. He has one of these overtime winners this year. Redding left to right. Schmidt looking for his first game winner. Cuts the Komets line to the slot, shoots. Pad save made. Big rebound to Swavely. Taps it back to Zajac, who recycles the rush. The Royals are out to the left wing red line. Schmidt cross ice to Willows, who steps on. Burst of speed. Willows to the right circle. Shoots one, top shelf missed. Angles around the boards to Chris McCarthy. The Royals have toyed with the idea of putting out Willows, Wilkins, McCarthy, 3 forwards in overtime. So says head coach Kirk McDonald. 45 seconds into OT. McCarthy to the left circle. Shoots it wide right. And a big roll around out to neutral ice for Willows, who has it for the Royals. 3-on-3 hockey. Up the middle to McCarthy. Giveaway. Here comes Fort Wayne. Into the zone right wing side. Wah lowers the shoulder. Szydlowski shoots it. Missed and blocked off Willows. Hit his heel and goes in the back safety netting. So a skate save. A minute gone in overtime in a 4-4 game. Draw to the left wing circle, and Szydlowski was close at the slot, but he batted it off of Matt Wilkins. Anthony Szydlowski, the story entering today's game. 27 saves on 31 Fort Wayne opportunities. Brinker versus Wall. Down from the Royals right wing circle and taken by the top unit. Giveaway. Royals up the middle with the feed. Comes wide left. It's no icing. Fort Wayne's napping on it, so the goaltender steps out of the net. Cross ice past Szydlowski's got a 2-on-1 into the zone right circle. Shoots it. Another skate save made. This time Szydlowski. And the rebound in the left corner. A minute and a half gone in OT. 3 skaters aside. Luco out there with Brinker. Jabs it to Luco in the right corner. Rolls around to Artie Tyanulin. Royals make a line change. It's Fort Wayne puck. Up the left side of neutral and into the zone. Desjardins shoots it. Save. Big rebound. Tyanulin. Stick save. Back deep slot. Binkley centers it. Saved by Szydlowski. That's what we're talking about. Desjardins right circle. Snipe. Glove by Szydlowski. He saves the game with 3 stops. May have hit him in the helmet. 3 minutes to go and a still overtime battle.
I think it did pop the snap on his mask. He puts it back on and appears to be ready to go again. I don't know if he'll have the opportunity to have the trainer check it. That's not going to be the case. 3 magnificent stops when the game was on the stick of the Fort Wayne Komets. And that first one was a really hot one to handle. Gave up a rebound, but was able to quickly poke it away. Face off to his left.
Dropped one, Komets shoot, blocked! Battled off Swavely, who's looking, took a bullet. Back right circle, Larazza. Hold, shoots, he scores! Zach Larazza, his 7th of the season, wins it for the Komets, 5-4 in overtime. Fort Wayne is going to the Kelly Cup playoffs, and Stephen Swavely having trouble getting to his feet after he was stung low on the leg with a block. A right circle snipe just inside the right dot from Zach Larazza.
And Swavely cannot get off the ice under his own power, just carrying that right leg. That was a bullet. It looked like he might have taken it on the inside of the knee, and he was incapable of getting up or getting to the bench.
Jason Binkley, who passed it to Larazza, gets the only assist on the overtime winner. And the Royals get a point, so they're one back of second. Team has been going to overtime a lot of late. They've been alternating overtime and non-overtime games this entire month. The 4th time in the 7 games this month they've gone to overtime. All of them have been losses. The Royals are up to 74 points in Fort Wayne, 87 points and the clinching of the playoff spot. Anthony Stolarz makes 29 saves in his Royals debut, and the Komets end up with a 5-4 win. Royals post-game show is next. We'll have coverage down from the locker room here on your home for Reading Royals hockey, Rumba 1340.
The next number 2 star for the Royals, number 90, Matt Willow.
Jimmy G's Railroad House Sports Bar and Restaurant is the home of the Royals players and fans for great food, drink, and sports action. Located in the historic Railroad House in the heart of Sinking Spring at 152 Woodrow Street, Jimmy G's offers the widest variety of available sports entertainment on 26 strategically placed high-definition televisions and 2 huge projector TVs. Jimmy G's boasts a full menu of fantastic American cuisine that fans can wash down with beverage specials while cheering for their favorite teams. The Railroad House is famous for live entertainment, including Royals Radio Recon, which whips things up every Tuesday night from 6 to 7 p.m. Everyone's invited to come out and meet the players and maybe even win a prize or 2. Jimmy G's Railroad House Sports Bar and Restaurant, where everyone has the home ice advantage. Heidelberg Country Club, conveniently located off Route 183, is Berks County's premier golf, social, and banquet facility. The host of the Royals' 11th annual Swing Into the Season charity golf tournament, Heidelberg Country Club offers scenic views, an elegant clubhouse, and an outstanding golf course, creating the perfect setting for your special event. Available for golf outings, business meetings, weddings, and more. Heidelberg Country Club. Look us up for your next event at heidelbergcc.com. Diamond Credit Union is once again teaming up with the Royals and 13 local organizations who are going to take a shot at raising money during select Saturday night games in the Diamond Credit Union Shoot for Community. The local groups can raise up to $1,000, so come out and cheer them on to success. Unity is the essence of everything we do at Diamond Credit Union. With over 60 years of serving the Pottstown area and Berks County communities, Diamond Credit Union proudly brings you the Royal Saturday Night Shoot for our community.
the final score, the Fort Wayne Komets 5 and the Reading Royals 4, wrapping it up here on Rumba 1340. The Royals came oh so close once again to picking up the extra point, but in the end it was this goal from Zach Larazza that sealed the deal. Up the left side into the zone. Desjardins shoots it. Save. Big rebound. Tyanulin. Stick save. Back deep slot. Binkley centers it. Saved by Stolarz. That save led to this. Blocked. Battled off Swavely, who's looking, took a bullet. Back right circle. Larazza. Hall shoots. He scores. Zach Larazza, his 7th of the season, wins it for the Komets 5-4 in overtime. Fort Wayne is going to the Kelly Cup playoffs, and Steven Swavely having trouble getting to his feet. Pat, that moment in particular with Swavely right at the very end, a little bit disconcerting for Royals fans, was limping off the ice, couldn't put any weight on one of his legs, and the Royals end up falling 5-4, somewhat disappointingly in overtime.
David, this game, from the Royals' perspective, swung in the first period. The Royals dominated the first 20 minutes. They did take a 1-0 lead to the first intermission. They outshot Fort Wayne 22-11, and without a lot of thought or embellishment, that could have been a 3-0 game and perhaps already in the victory column for the Royals after 20 minutes. It wasn't, and as you would expect from a team that had scored 253 goals, averaging 4.22 per game coming in, they came back, and they came back hard. The Royals took 3 separate 1-goal leads, were unable to hold on, and then the third period, once again, David, it was the fact that Fort Wayne was able to score 2 goals back-to-back in that third period that allowed them to take the lead at 4-3. The Royals tied it on a goal from Adam Schmidt at 15-13 of the third period. That's where we finished in regulation. Fort Wayne had a late power play opportunity, a double minor for high sticking assessed to Nick Luco. The Royals successfully killed that off. 60 minutes ended, and it was a deadlock at 4-4. And in the 3-on-3 overtime of 5 minutes, it was pretty much all Fort Wayne. Anthony Stolarz made 3 stellar saves to keep it a tied game, but at the 157 mark of the overtime period, on the 4th Fort Wayne shot of the extra session, it was Zach Larazza with the game-winning goal, his 7th of the season. The assist on that winner went to Binkley and to Garrett Thompson, and it was a 5-4 overtime win for the Fort Wayne Komets. David, as you mentioned, they pick up the extra point. They clinch a playoff spot for themselves in the Western Conference. The Royals lose a heartbreaker, but do pick up a point in the standings and move ever more closely to the to the Adirondack Thunder, sitting in first place in the North Division. The Royals now 74 points on the season with a record of 33, 21, and 8.
And you know, Pat, from my perspective up here in the booth, it seemed like a game that the Royals were sort of teetering on the edge at all times. You know, you talk about you're up three different times, but you never got the 2-goal lead. And you mentioned multiple times in the first period, and I thought it was a very good point, that from the Royals' perspective, not being able to take a 2-goal lead was a huge turning point. And that's why Fort Wayne's a good team, and that's why they clinched a playoff berth, because in a moment like that, where the Royals were oh so close to getting a 2-goal lead, Cam Lanigan ends up getting the win in his first ECHL start, a pretty memorable one. Sure, he allowed 4 goals, but he made those saves that prevented it from being an out-of-reach game.
Absolutely. He won the game for Fort Wayne in the first 20 minutes. You're not going to get one of the stars as a netminder when you allow 4 goals, pretty much regardless of whether you saw 30 shots or 60 shots. But nonetheless, he kept his team in the game, and good teams, David, will do that. It's almost like you've got them on the ropes, and when you can't put them away, it comes back to bite you. I thought the Royals struggled a bit in the second period. They didn't defend as sternly or with as much verve as we had seen in the first period. It allowed Fort Wayne to come back. And then you look, David, they got a goal just 71 seconds into the second period to tie it at 1. The Royals did bounce back from that 30 seconds later, took their second 1-goal lead of the night. But then you look at the third period, we talked about the amazing positive goal differential that Fort Wayne enjoys on the season. They score the tying goal just 27 seconds in. Early